Or why don't you tell us a story, AutoCAD?
Well, in West Philadelphia, I was born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. Just chilling out,
Maxing and relaxing?
maxing, relaxing, all cool. Just shooting some b-ball right outside of school.
Was that when those couple of guys?
Yeah, they were up to no good, and they started making trouble in my neighborhood. And
did you watch the reunion?
Nah,
I liked it. I thought it was all right. It could have been better.
I heard it was good.
Better than the Friends one. The Friends one gave me weird vibes. I don't know. They're just all
some
plastic
are
now,
successful, and then some aren't.
and they all got plastic surgery. It's just weird.
Yeah, makes sense. Hollywood.
Motherfuckers are making more money now than when the show aired.
Man, that fucking
Literally,
yeah, man.
that's a real thing.
What's that called?
Syndication.
Thank you. Syndication. Yeah.
But they made more money off the deal with Netflix when Netflix got Friends, and then Friends went to HBO Max.
Wait, they got a piece of that money too?
Yeah.
Dang, that's a good contract. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, they were getting paid $1 million an episode in like 97.
Yep. And when they all walked off the show or some shit, right?
Yeah, they broke that mold. Like they did some crazy shit.
Yeah, because they came together. They discussed their paycheck.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you actually communicate to your coworkers. You actually get ahead. You don't keep getting fucked for your whole career. It's
Guys, let's band together and let's ask for a raise for the podcast.
Yeah. Can we get a raise? Can you pay us more, please?
I'll give you a 10% raise.
Appreciate it. That's 10% of zero.
Exactly. And you have stock options right now.
Yeah, baby. I love options. What's going on here, man? I gotta get you a new screen, man.
I know. I gotta cover that shit up. I forgot that he was gonna have us on camera, and then I saw this shit, and I was just like, oh.
I want to shout at you, but I didn't want to throw you off.
He's looking like a big ass
stain out of there.
Video games.
Hey guys, don't mind my cum blanket.
I call that the over-the-shoulder trick.
Yeah, exactly.
I call that the 6-footer.
On the next Tales of the Internet, the cum screen, the cum green screen.
Green screen cum guy.
Gross.
And welcome to the next episode of VGXL. I'm your host, Daniel, aka Games. Joining me again is Jose and El Torrente and AutoCAD, Dakota. How you guys doing today? How you guys doing today? Yeah,
that's good.
Nothing. I'm back from vacation. I'm sure a lot of listeners know I went away to the beautiful Virgin Islands, United States Virgin Islands.
Nice. Who's the president there?
Barack Obama. Or
Interesting.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, man. I did not want to come back. I was about to record from over there and be on the beach sipping on some coladas. Like,
dessert.
You guys are still on New York City?
Yeah. Until the first hurricane hits your ass, then you come flying back.
Let me back in.
Yeah.
All my friends from New York City, I need you to come get me.
I'm just kidding.
The water won't stop.
It won't. It just won't stop.
The water hurts.
Oh my god, nah. It's like as much as I like things in video games too much, and those islands are way too small, and they and then if you notice the disclaimer of a lot of things, it's like does not ship to Hawaii or the US Virgin Islands, and I'm not about that life, or Puerto Rico. Yeah. So it's like I'd have to have
satellite internet out there.
I don't know, but it was because of the hurricanes, it was really slow. But I saw signs that were getting 1 gig. 1 gig internet is back, so they lost a lot of internet. But it was ass slow out there. Like, I mean, I had cell phone signal and all that, but yeah, it was pretty slow. Like, I don't think I could have broadcasted anything from out there.
Yeah,
at least not over the air or not on the Wi-Fi I was on, but maybe on a landline in someone's shack.
I was gonna say you gotta pay for that residential internet, son.
And that's probably big money.
That tourist shit is me.
Yep. But But yeah, man, this was a busy ass week. I left at like the worst time because I E3 wasn't even over, and not that there was a whole lot, but
it was a decent amount.
E3 happened. It was an event. They showed video games, I guess.
Yeah, it was a little too disjointed. It was a little like,
yeah,
I would have liked it to have been a little more centralized, but it was good.
Yeah, like they could have rented some space. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, it felt a little corny. It just felt like a lot of theater because it's like a lot of it was pre-recorded, you know, if not all of it. And then these are things that they didn't even have to do. I mean, if you really think about it, it's like a lot of it they just, again, this could have happened on a random Tuesday, you know, and not been that week, you know what I mean? And it just felt like they just took plans from that they would have probably done anyway, and then just used E3 for it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna dive a little deeper, but you know, some stuff I was excited for. I mean, the indie games really like hit. There was a lot more indie games that hit better than other events, so I was happy about that.
Yeah. Yeah, like the in-between stuff was nicer than the big events sometimes.
Exactly, especially for like people like Gearbox and Square. It's just, you know, Square should have had more of a banger of a show, and they didn't. And I don't know.
Yeah,
like underwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
I still had fun with it though. I don't know. I think I'm a little more optimistic than you guys. I still enjoyed it, but I wasn't expecting much. So anything I got, I was like, yeah, this is fire. I'm into this. So.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed, like I said, I was having fun. I mean, you know, for people who know who watched with us, we know you were there. You streamed, you know, some of the events with me, and that part was fun. I liked doing the presentation and going along with it, and you know, it was cool seeing some of the things. It's always cool. I was still excited. I was having a good time when it was on. It's just that it's more like the after. It's like now that the dust is settled, now that when you look back, it's like, wait, what happened? E3 was last week,
right?
You know,
yeah, and that I think is more of an effect or a symptom of the decentralization of it. Like it was so like spread out, different streams. You didn't know where the main one was. At least I didn't. Like, so it just didn't feel connected in any way. It just felt like a bunch of, like you said before, a bunch of separate things that kind of mashed together. And they're like, all right. And if you were lucky enough to catch the right place, you know, but
yeah, because it's like I don't know. I guess we are spoiled because right before E3 like started taking a nose at 2016 and 2017, and if I'm not mistaken, even part of 2018 had some like bangers, you know, being shown, and it's like you get hype. You know, when the whole God of War, you know, nothing has ever topped when Sony opened up with their whole orchestra banging on the drums for God of War. Like that shit really was set the bar so high for like a dope E3 event that I think that's what people are always clamoring for. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it sucks that we don't get that anymore, and it's like now it's just, you know.
It also depends on if you like God of War.
But even if you did it, I mean, like that, it was just fire seeing them like a whole orchestra playing a song from that shit.
Yeah,
sorry, I have something in my head. I'm like freaking out over here.
You remember that, right, Jose? That shit was fire. Like, you know, when they used to.
Yeah, it was a good intro, a nice big intro that let you know something good was coming.
There's no more spectacle.
Yeah, there's no more. You know that matters. You know what I mean? Like it's becoming very. It kind of feels it's very I don't know. Like it's very routine-y. Like I you know, a lot of that is because of the pandemic, I suppose.
Right.
But even years ago, E3 was starting to kind of plunge a little bit. We talked about that every year. You know, we'd be like, oh, you know, it's always like Nintendo saves the day, or Microsoft was real good. You know,
right?
It's like overall as a convention, it just feels a lot. It doesn't feel as fun as it once was.
Yeah. I mean, I was hopeful, especially that last year didn't happen, you know, I guess that's why, you know, I got a little naive there, you know, 'cause I thought like, all right, we missed a year, 2019 was whack, like let's come in with a banger, like, you know, it was rough because of COVID, but like maybe that's why it should be, you know, let's release some early information. But you know, and without Sony, it's like you're missing the other big announcements, you know. The rumors that something's coming, you know, next week, but that's a big ass rumor, you know what I mean? It probably, you know, and nothing's been confirmed at all, you know, so that part sucks. So having Sony out of it, I think also, it kind of fucks it all up. Ever since they dropped out, it's like, damn, like, now all you have is Microsoft, and and even their stuff. It's like, I don't know. I was excited for Microsoft. I was hoping for a little bit more. Like some people said they won E3, and I think that's a statement that doesn't really ring true. It's like they won because the bar was set low. Like, did they win? Like, who were they fighting against? You know what I mean? Like,
I just think that whole thing. No one wins a show that they these people paid to put on themselves. Like, you don't win it. You're just showing, like, that shit from the beginning. Since everything is always made into a competition. You're not winning it. The people who won it is Microsoft, but they didn't win E3. What they did is they won a lot of new gamers' ears and probably wallets, I think, because their Game Pass whooped ass. I don't care what any PlayStation fanboy wants to say. It spanked y'all, and it's gonna spank y'all for the foreseeable future. So
they're gonna come for us.
You know what? I mean, it wasn't just E3 that's been failing. Every award show on the face of the earth has been in decline. The Grammys, the Oscars, everything, because award shows suck. They're corny. They're expensive, they cost a lot of money, and nobody really tunes in anymore. So these game people are like, all right, we're spending millions of dollars in making these spectacles, and we're not gaining any new gamers over it. So why are we doing it?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like, if we can just put out a bunch of videos, and we're gonna, we're interesting the people who were already interested anyways, and we're gaining our new audience through other avenues. We're not gonna pay a 50-piece orchestra to play for 3 hours for $500,000 if we don't have to. That's kind of a waste.
Man, fuck that. Throw that money down. I want to see spectacle and awesomeness.
I want good games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, but like at this point, I think maybe that's why I'm so positive. I'm just happy to see new games. We had like so little for so long that I'm just hyped to see that shit's coming out at all. I think that's what it is for me.
Just it's that in between. If you remember, it's like fucking 2013, right? Is when the PS4 dropped, the end of 2013, if I'm not mistaken. And then
some shit like that.
And then 2014, I think, was like a lot of cross generation. A lot of fanboys forget this. There was a lot of cross generational games that happened. I remember Battlefield 4, as a matter of fact, which was one of the highlights of this last couple of weeks. Battlefield in general, rather, was the highlight. Battlefield 4 dropped on last gen systems and on the next gen, and it's like, it was kind of corny seeing like games, PS3. I remember the feeling. People were mad about that back then too, and it's just like it was a dry spell between. I remember my PS4 sitting there collecting dust for that first year, and I got it day one, and there's a lot more value. Like people are, but I'm drifting here.
Regardless.
What I'm trying to say is we're in that in between where the new gen just started. There's a lot of games that were already in production for the older hardware, and 2022 is going to be the year. You know what I mean? If Microsoft, made that very apparent that 2022 is going to be the year. We're going to get a couple of bangers to end the year with. But
I'm going to say, I think they're already ahead of the ball here because we already, like you said, we already got a few hits coming out at the end of the year. They're doing a much better job getting to the new gen and actually kicking things off. If I'm a PS5 owner, I'm tight.
I don't think they're not yet. Not yet.
What do you mean?
Microsoft doing a good job with next gen. They have no next gen games at all. At least PlayStation has next gen games.
What do you mean, like completely next gen?
Completely next gen, like that are not cross gen. Yeah. Like,
right. Well, I guess at least in terms of feel, like I'm looking at the stuff that they're dropping and it feels next gen at least. I don't know. Maybe it's just Game Pass feels like they're pushing things for. I don't know. It feels better. Sony, I just legit like there's zero reason for anybody to have a PS5. It doesn't, and it's gonna be like that because they don't have any chips and they're not gonna get any chips.
Well, I gotta respectfully disagree, sir, because again, Xbox has nothing right now. They had the Medium was the only thing, and it's coming to PlayStation anyway. It just got announced. So yeah, you're right. If you're talking about purely next gen that is not cross gen at all, is not a whole lot. You know what I mean? You have some cross gen games, but at least you have exclusives on. I hear somebody's feedback. Somebody listening out of. Are you listening out of speakers? I hear
me.
I got you.
It just came out of nowhere. I didn't hear nothing this whole time. Anyway,
I was gonna say, yeah, that was weird. It should be better now.
hello. All right. Only when I got really loud. All right. So, but what I was saying was that pretty much, they started off with Demon Souls. Yes, the argument is that that's a remake, but it's a ground up remake with dope lighting, and it has the effects and the super fast loading. When you die, you instantly, so you're getting that next gen feel there. Then you have things like Returnal, you have Ratchet and Clank, which that I have to say is true what they're saying. That shit is definitely a next gen feel like that. The lighting is incredible. The super fast load times, jumping between, like having the whole. There's this part where you change, like you hit this like stone, and it changes the whole world around you instantly. To it's the same like map, but there's like the destroyed version of it, and then there's like the other realm, the other dimension of it where it's not destroyed. And the fact that it doesn't blink of eye feels crazy. But the lighting, I have to say, is awesome. And what Insomniac does with that whole like ray tracing performance thing, I gotta say, I mean, yeah, in performance only, it is a little bit crisper, but that extra lighting you get doesn't even matter, in my opinion, unless you're really like staring, like you could see the slight like blurriness because they lower the resolution a little bit to give you the ray tracing. But I think it's a dope trade-off, and I prefer it with the ray tracing. So they have their games, that's the thing. It's like, and the other thing, I don't mean to go off, but it's like then the other, just making sure that just the I think the biggest reason for both consoles at this point is to play your older games at a better at a higher frame rate, and that alone I think is a big reason to own either or. Like if you were an Xbox One fan, now they have that FPS boost thing that the Xbox automatically does, which is dope. But Sony has a lot of the games that have that increase, and it helps. It really does help. I had to say, like, it's not like going back and playing fucking even The Last of Us 2. It's just such a better feel going, playing the old Ratchet and Clank, playing God of War, and that faster. These are things that if you were a base PS4 owner and did not have a PC, then that's who this is for. For PC owners, yes, you're right. If you've experienced PC, there's not a whole lot to relook at or want to go back to. But if you only had a base PS4, absolutely a big reason to make the plunge now. Especially if you have a backlog and there's games you haven't reached yet. So I gotta say, I mean, you're right. Like for true next gen, you only have a handful of games on PlayStation. You have nothing on Xbox unless you're third party. You have third party stuff.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you're gonna watch your mouth.
I want Microsoft to succeed. That was the one show I was waiting for. So don't get me wrong. Like I want Microsoft to succeed. 2022.
I've never been more confident for Microsoft. To be honest,
I gotta say
they are absolutely in an amazing place. So they're fine.
Yeah,
whatever they do, they're fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm actually excited for Microsoft. I gotta say, like I know that some people may not care about buying the Series X, but if as a PC owner, there's a lot, and Game Pass PC owner, there's a lot to be excited for. Knowing you're getting bangers at a monthly price, and it's cool if you want to own your games. And I know that I have people who refuse to get Game Pass because they want to own their games. Still, that you get a discount, and you're getting bangers. So
still own it, can still absolutely own it. You get the discount or whatever. So it's, I don't mean to rag on you, El Torrente. I know you got that PS5 or a couple of them. But
I'm happy with the PS5 because I know games are gonna eventually come. I don't care. I'm the type of person that's more like, I'm thinking about the future exclusives that I know I'm going to be interested in. I missed the God of War train, so Xbox doesn't really have, as they go, I'm sure my mind is going to change, but even then, anything available for Xbox I could get from my PC. So
exactly.
I think my last Xbox purchase was the 360, because at this point, there's not a huge difference for me, and exclusives wise, I have access to those.
Exactly. Except for like, what is it, like Halo 5 or 4 or whatever, Guardians or whatever. I think it's like the only one that didn't come to PC. But other than that,
they're all on PC now, I think.
Is Guardians? I don't think Guardians is.
No?
We're talking about
just on Game Pass. I don't know.
We're talking about your God of Wars, your Horizons, and your Last of Us, and a slew of other indie titles that are awesome for PS4. I can't get those anywhere else, and I don't want to be caught up like everybody. Like I feel like a lot of the hate of PS5 is the fact that people didn't know they actually wanted one until it was too late to get one.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't give a shit, and then when they saw that, oh, this is actually, you know, the hysteria that, you know, I don't get me wrong, it was blown way out of proportion, but still one of those things where it's a lot of hate from people who just couldn't get one. Because if I put a PS5 in somebody's hands right now, they would probably be ecstatic. But a lot of those people had something negative to say too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see it out there, you know, people talking all this shit. I'm just like, all right, bro. You know, it's like it's crazy. Like I said, I love to read the fanboy bullshit just because it's comedy to me. Honestly, it's like you really
like,
hating.
I love having my PS5 just stand there. Like I know I don't use it often because it's not the time. There's no games out for it. I felt like they could have delayed the PS5 a whole year.
Oh yeah,
and it would
absolutely.
have been fine.
Absolutely.
I've been saying that from the beginning. Like they could have easily released it holiday season 2021, and it would have been a more effective rollout with some fucking crazy launch titles.
Hell yeah! Imagine getting Ratchet & Clank, Returnal, and Demon Souls and all that shit day one as a lineup.
Incredible. And we're talking about what's coming. What are the games coming out holiday season this year? Like we have a lot coming.
Yeah,
you know
Horizon should be there too. Yeah,
Horizon is gonna end up being in there. Imagine having Horizon
Zero Dawn.
Didn't they say
I thought it was 2021? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh no, they didn't say anything, right? Is that what? That's what it was. My bad. I'm getting mixed up with.
Oh,
that's not this holiday.
No, they didn't say anything. They didn't say. They haven't said anything. They haven't confirmed nor denied that it's coming this year.
Yeah, I'd be pretty shocked. Maybe you're right though.
I think overall they said this year, but like they haven't confirmed a date, you know, or whether or not it's delayed. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah. From what I remember, it was 2021, but there's no telling if that's the truth or when. But everybody would assume holiday season.
Exactly.
You know, that's a banger. But having that as a launch title would have been cool.
That's what I'm saying. You know, yeah, that would have been.
It just, you know. I've seen people disagree with certain things I've said in the past. It's like, it's just how I feel about these things, man. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that are they're just done prematurely. And some things are done way too fucking slow. Like, if I sit here and I say, I want to see the Horizon Forbidden, the Forbidden West trailer look like it's next gen, that's not a tall task. All you do is push forward the idea that we're in the next gen. So show me that. Aside from haptic feedback and the way this shit feels, that's a tank of a system. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking huge system. We're supposed to be going a little smaller, which is what's gonna happen. It's gonna go with a PS5 Slim or PS5 whatever. Yeah. You know, but it's the idea. Like, I mean, come on, you can't fault me for wanting to see a game look at its best when you're pushing a next gen system. It makes no sense that you have an issue with this. Like, that's telling me that you want them to show you something half-assed, which just tells me you've been in this world too fucking long where you're just used to the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I had a better time looking at trailers in the fucking early 2000s. And I knew I was getting exactly what the fuck I saw on screen. I never saw a Twin Snakes trailer and then got Twin Snakes and it wasn't in the game. Like, stop the bullshit, bro. Like, give us what we're paying for, and if we're in the next gen, show us we're in the next gen. If you have a problem with that, just go fucking play your Xbox. The first one. You don't get to play 360, you fucking nerd.
Yeah. It's like, go play Xbox One. Oh, shit.
Go play Xbox One so you can catch up.
Yeah, well, yeah. Fuck the original. Yeah, this sucks. Fucking their stupid naming convention. I'm like, Xbox 2000. OG. Yeah. Oh shit.
I mean, gamers have always been kind of like at each other's throats about systems and everything. But like I said, man, this isn't a real console war. It's not real.
It's not.
I only get this excited because this is like the only time in the Xbox's history that I can absolutely glow and be like, we absolutely look better than Sony right now. But that's it. Other than because honestly, I don't care. It really doesn't matter. I want to see both do well. The better they both do, the better for me. Personally, it's just PS5 isn't exciting yet. It will be soon. It's just not yet. And again, I'm just happy because Game Pass has held me over so well that I'm just happy to see them doing their thing. And so many games are coming day one to Game Pass that we'll get into.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you're right. Like I walked away from the Xbox. Yes, they didn't show anything, and I could admit that. Like they didn't show a lot of gameplay. A lot of CG trailers. You gotta admit though, they did end it kind of weird with that one game at the end. It's like, huh? Like it's a new IP. They had Redfall. It was the Redfall. Yeah, it was the one where it looks like another 4-person zombie shooter game, but then they showed the Evil Dead trailer or some shit like that. It's like they showed pretty much two of the same genres, and you ended it with like, Back 4 Blood, excuse me. It was the Back 4 Blood. They showed Back 4 Blood, and then they ended with the Redfall, which looks like another Back 4 Blood game. So it's just like...
So we're seeing a resurrection in these games.
Yep, because Evil Dead is Evil Dead is more of like a Dead by Daylight, I think, similar to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's sort of like Jason or something.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
You know, what makes this shit awesome though is that Redfall is an open world co-op.
I see.
So that's gonna be. I think that Back 4 Blood is gonna maintain that linear kind of go here gameplay, like the other Left 4 Deads, where you kind of just go through the city, have to go into buildings, and everything's very just kind of set up for you. Right, but an open world co-op FPS kind of that kind of gets that. I mean, that could be fun.
No, you're right. I'm not shitting on the game.
I know. I completely know. I was just saying in general because I opened it up.
Yeah.
But I agree that it makes no sense to end the show on that. It's like it's not fucking Halloween. Like if it was like if the convention was in Halloween because of some delay or something, and you kind of wanted to use it as an opportunity to spook people and let them know what's coming, and I mean, maybe that would be cool. But yeah, that shit is weird. It just seems like nobody thought about that, and it was last minute. They couldn't change it.
I know, because the way he's just like, oh, and we have one more thing, and normally that's like an IP that people know of, or a sequel that people didn't know about, or something. But a brand new IP that doesn't show gameplay at all, and or they could have showed gameplay. Like if there was gameplay to go, like, look at this dope gameplay trailer of this new IP that got people excited. But it's like, okay, I mean, the concept does sound dope. A multiplayer, like you said, I didn't even realize it was open world. So an open world co-op FPS, that sounds kind of dope. So I admit that, like, that does sound kind of dope. But again, the way they closed out the
makes no sense.
It was just like, okay, and then you didn't even show gameplay. So there's nothing to get excited about yet. It's just a concept.
For what I'm seeing, this all looks like it's like mystical almost.
Right.
It's like a horror element, but they're using magic, and there's like phantoms floating in the sky and shit.
It's vampires. They're vampires there.
Oh,
yeah, you're hunting vampires. Yeah, so
that's pretty sick.
It's fine. I mean, I don't know. I'm into all the team games I see dropping because we got Dying Light 2 dropping.
That's what I was gonna say. This kind of looks like that. If you took the story element out of Dying Light, I feel like this is what you'd get.
Yeah, it's like if Arcane made Dying Light, because I think it's Arcane that does it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love Arcane, so I don't know. I'm into everything that Arcane is doing right now. I'm super excited about.
Shit, and it's a Bethesda game, so that's like.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. I feel like they won't let this shit fail.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Like, okay, maybe if they're gonna close out, if they're excited like that about it, then hopefully, that maybe that means that they're confident it's gonna be a fire game. I hope so.
Yeah, me too. Like, it'd be cool to see this game become so popular that it gains like kind of like an Overwatch kind of fan base where you have this shit at events. That would be pretty sick and different.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that type of like game, like competitive game. That'd be dope.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. I mean, if they have that element,
different shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this looks pretty cool.
But you want to know what we want to hear? Something no one's ever said. I can't wait for that Ubisoft event.
Oh wow.
I'm done. And with that being said, I'm out of here. Have a good night, guys. It said Ubisoft. What the fuck?
Said no one ever. Cause
what? Why?
What do you mean?
You want to go run around and look for packages and
and open cages and But it's like, yo, because that's why we can start there. Like before we get deeper, because I want to go deeper on the Xbox, but we'll save that for in a little bit. Right. But I just want to start with one of the first like, ones, which was fucking Ubisoft. Like, first of all, it's like, why even have an event? They could have dropped it. Why can't they drop on Sony's fucking stick with it? It's like, they showed a couple of things, but it's like you use this to show DLC. Like nobody was like, there's gonna be more things to pay for a game I already, either beat and never gonna play, or the 500 the few people that are still left in these things. Like no one was that excited about the fucking DLC for Assassin's Creed. Like at an E3, let's again, this is in the context of an E3. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are excited for more to play that, continue playing that big ass game, but no one was really giving that much shit about. Also, fucking Far Cry 6. We've seen that shit a million times everywhere, and it's like,
I know, it's like the same trailers that from like 2 years ago.
Exactly. It's like, yo, like show us something else. Plus you just showed it the other day, so it's like you kind of ruined it, by showing it. You should have left everything for your own event, and then DLC that's going with it. Like, oh thanks, so now the super ultra edition.
That's weird. That's weird that they did that.
They're just always like completely just not in tune with what's happening or what they're supposed to do. Like it just seems like they cannot figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Their French hearts, but they just cannot. I don't know. It's very weird and funny.
And it's like I want to like. Don't get me wrong. I want to like Ubisoft more, but it's just like.
Yeah, and the games aren't bad. I'll say
that's what I'm saying.
They're not the best directed, but they make good games.
And and who didn't think that Just Dance was coming back? Huh?
Hey, how excited are you, man? I know you love that shit, huh?
I'm ready to dance.
Oh, that's it. We're gonna do a whole video podcast of me just twerking to Just Dance songs. That's it.
Fucking fantasy. I'm excited. I'm just get my barf bag real quick.
Shit. Now, all right. So we're shitting on them, but Rabbids.
What are you guys excited about? I'm sorry.
For Ubisoft?
Well, I just meant in general, but you're right. Let's stick with Ubisoft.
Well, that's what I was gonna say to line up the tone. I know I'm shitting on it or whatever.
Fuck it, shit on them.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's some.
Fuck it, ruin everything.
There's a couple of things. Like, I mean, like the Mario Rabbids thing was okay, I guess. It does seem a little weird. It's getting a sequel, but it does look like a dope game. I gotta admit,
it looks good, right?
Yeah, like the scope of it looked kind of dope to me. I was like, this looks kind of fire. And the first one, apparently, if you were into those games, wasn't a bad game, but it is a little weird getting a sequel because it's like. That seemed like a one-off, like I think it was a missed opportunity for them to not go to another IP, you know what I mean? Like do another weird IP no one would expect you guys to do, but here we are, and it does look dope. I gotta admit, it does look dope.
Just seeing Mario with guns throws me off. It's very strange.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't like it.
It's kind of crazy.
And I don't know, was there anything? I mean, besides that, I mean, what was it? Rainbow Six Extraction, I guess, seems like it might be a good game or fun, at least a fun little.
I don't know. Are they charging for that? That's what my first question is. Are you charging for a fucking zombie add-on? I hope not.
I think they are.
Like I get it's like a little raid. Like it pretty much looks like a raid, which I guess is cool. But I don't know if that's enough to pay for if it's just one of them. Like,
yeah, I mean,
worse than what Destiny used to do.
That's true. I mean, I think it's its own whole game. So I mean, I don't think we know enough yet. So oh yeah, and then. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot good to say. I mean, for Ubisoft, and then they ended with fucking Avatar. Like Avatar?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Did anybody ask for Avatar? Was that on your bingo card? Because I was not expecting fucking Avatar. I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad game, but it's Ubisoft, so I'm all expecting is a nice looking open world game with a lot of the samey open world shit that Ubisoft. They're the masters of open world. I gotta admit, the shit they do is addicting. But if you play more than one, you're playing the same game.
I was gonna say, it's like the Fallout disease. It's like it's the same game, different skin, and it's. I don't know how they keep getting away with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, did you give a shit about Avatar? Were you excited, Jose?
Nah, man. I don't even like those movies.
You want some unobtainium?
Nah, man. For me, it was very like everything about it was underwhelming. I found myself getting more excited about the more indie games. Like, you guys see that Far Changing Tides? Did you see that?
Yeah, but the name sounds familiar. I don't remember what the game
It's kind of
was.
like a cross between Abzu and Limbo.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That shit looks awesome. It looks like a dope side-scrolling adventure that I'm
Right.
all about. Also the, the Tenchu Warship game, Aragami. You remember Aragami, the first one?
Right.
They're getting a sequel, and that was really dope to see because it's even more like Tenchu now. It's like a carbon copy, and I love that. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
if we're not gonna get a new Tenchu because they went the Sekiro route,
Right.
I'm cool with somebody else doing it and me having fun with it because it's like the same exact thing as Tenchu, but they gave him more like supernatural powers. Like he could kind of like morph to places and disappear and use invisibility and shit. So there's like a more of a lot of modern stuff thrown into the game, but very, very dope.
That's awesome. Yeah, like it's crazy because we definitely need more games like that. And it's like, I am disappointed. Sekiro was a good game, but it was disappointing to know that it was gonna be Tenchu and they stopped. And it's just like, fuck, man.
Yeah. I think that it's weird because now it feels like Tenchu gets a lot more recognition these days than it not that it did back in the day. It had a big fan base back in the day, but I feel like it has a decent enough fan base right now that people talking about it enough will eventually get it, because they see there's people who want it. I feel like that's probably the main reason they, went the Sakiro route, in the first place. They probably saw, let's start a new IP and do what we go a certain route with it, make it more like a Souls game.
Right.
They probably felt like Tenchu had been forgotten because they did a few games that weren't that great,
Yeah.
Like Wrath of Heaven was awesome from PS2, but the ones that came out on 360, they weren't made by the same people, and it just felt and looked different. It was like a cheap knockoff of the original Tenchu series. So they probably were, feeling a little bit like, are people really going to care about this? I think it was smart for them to change the IP, just for that reation.
Plus,
I don't know how successful it would have been.
Yeah, now that you say that, it's like if I'm putting on I wouldn't call it conspiracy, but if we're being a little wary of things, it's Activision, I believe, published Sekiro. They're the reason the game was just supposed to be called Sekiro, and they're the ones who added the subtitle "Shadows Die Twice." I guess some fucking suit up there needed a subtitle, but if I had to guess, I think you're onto something because it sounds like I wouldn't be surprised rather if they want to make a good Tenchu game, but a game like Sekiro or Dark Souls, these games are fairly easy to make. They're short games. And they're only long because you have to open doors and make shortcuts and get good. You know what I mean? That's the whole basis of it. It's like an old Nintendo game where you had to. Right. The game was long because it took forever to beat, but once you mastered it, it was a quick game. And that's how a lot of these games are. That you can do like a 2-hour run on them or a 1-hour run if you're that good at it. Because that's what. So if I had to guess, maybe they didn't want to make a Tenchu game a quick, fast game like that, and wanted to have a narrative, and maybe it is a good thing, and maybe it's a blessing in disguise, like not make it just like some, because that's very, it's light on story. Sekiro and Dark Souls are very story light. You know what I mean? It's all about gameplay, where Tenchu had story. So you're on something there, because that sounds like. I could see that. I could totally see, especially Activision behind it. Like, you have this amount of time, get it done, and they needed to shit out a game. It's like, it feels like those games are somewhat easier to make, especially when you have things like EA doing it with Star Wars. Again, that game has story and stuff, and I'm sure they put money into it. But the game itself, I'm sure once you master it, it's probably short. Once you've mastered it.
Right.
Every time I hear Tenchu, or you bring it up, I'll turn and say I always just think of Onimusha, because that was like, for me, that was my version of it. Like, I loved it in the same way you love Tenchu. That's another one that I'd love to see Capcom bring back, but with the story, what I mean? Like, they had that you have the fun demon story, you follow along all the magic and stuff.
And Samurai is in right now.
Next gen shit would be so fire.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that could be like their own little Souls game if they wanted to, like make it where there's some difficulty there, but have the story and make that. And now with that Resident Evil engine that they've been using, that they're using for Monster Hunter, man, they could make that game look good, because that Resident Evil engine is dope, and that's one of the best engines out there right now. The fact that it could scale down to a Switch to make a dope Switch game, and scale all the way up to make a fire ass looking PS5 and PC game with Resident Evil is like, yo, that's fire, that's definitely something that I'm definitely excited to see Capcom take more advantage of that shit.
Yeah, and I will say I did remember one game that I'm excited about from Ubisoft, which is Rocksmith. I don't know if anybody played the first one or even knows about the first one. It's kind of a niche sort of thing, but I will say this one that they're dropping looks pretty fucking fire for like legitimate kind of just instrument playing and learning. And
it
looks pretty dope. Like they've done some pretty good stuff, and I love Rock Band, and this is completely different,
right?
But almost the same. Just I don't know.
Well, Rock Band's the arcade. This is the simulator, right?
Yeah, like exactly. This is like the Gran Turismo of the racing sims, you know what I mean? So
yeah, you really learn how to play guitar playing this shit.
Yeah, and I got my my plug-in, I can actually plug in my interface now, the guitar, the acoustic, so I'm like, this is perfect, this is just what I needed.
Oh shit, that sounds fire. And you're right, I could probably do the same shit if I really want to, because I have all the inputs now. I didn't even think about that. Holy shit.
XLR cable, plug it in, and so I'm definitely copping that.
Yeah, oh no, this is a music. This has to happen.
Hell yeah.
Yo, and because I saw it on the list, I didn't want to share, because honestly, I've never played it, so it's not, again, it wasn't something that I knew to be excited or not. So, but no, that's dope. I mean, and I hear it's gonna be a subscription. So what do you think about that? That's gonna be a subscription service for the music. Good, bad?
You know what? It depends on the service. If it's a worthwhile service, what I mean? I like paying for shit that's dope. If it's something dope, I don't mind paying for it. I'm not a kid anymore. We can all afford shit.
Right.
If I'm cheaping out, it's because I don't think it's worth it. If I truly think something's worth it, I'm giving you the cash.
Yeah, and that could be fire, because I'd rather pay $10 a month or whatever it's gonna be, and hopefully it is something like low, like $5-10 a month, than and play as many songs as I want than buying DLC packs every fucking 6 months. And
if you're giving me updated lessons, if I'm getting legit lessons, like if Slash pops up in the lessons, like, yo, what's up guys, we're gonna learn how to play this riff. All right, sure, I'll cough up $10 a month if I'm getting dope artists. If Santana comes on, he's teaching me how to play Maria. All right, cool, I'm down with that.
That sounds fire. I want that service, yo.
Yeah, listen, he's right though. If Rocksmith, if they find a way to implement social networking with that, you know what I'm saying, like having people come and show you how to play games, or people on social networking voting to see what the next submission should be, and you have like the guys from like Slayer come on and do a song because it won that week, they had like a tally, like that could be really awesome. And if you're handling it the way they handle like an Adobe Premiere, or but more on the Ableton side, you know what I mean, where it's like a music interface or program rather that you're using with all your stuff at home, and the subscription service makes it that you're getting all the most up-to-date awesome plugins and all this cool stuff. That could definitely take off if the service is right. I could easily see people paying $20 a month for something like that, getting good, up-to-date track lists, stuff like that,
because I'm looking at it now, and that's exactly it. If all the track lists are updated, if they give you some dope preamps, I'm looking at something now, it looks like it looks like they might be giving you a few amps with it, like digital whatever, but little things like that is going to be fire.
That sounds cool. I never really looked into the game. You piqued my interest.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be fire. Something that's out now that's sort of similar for keyboards, Melodics. So Melodics, they teach you lessons and they update it, and
for
you can play songs like Eminem, shit like that, but it's just keyboard. So
but I've always had a weakness for like piano and keyboard. That sounds awesome.
I just registered for the beta.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, so did I. Yeah. I registered immediately. I was like, fuck yes.
My mind just went backwards for a second. I'm not going to spend time on this. I'm just going to say it makes no sense that if they left Tenchu to go to a Sekiro, They should have just used Sekiro as a way to jumpstart the fans and bring them over to a Tenchu game, because they both take place in 16th century Japan.
That's true, right?
Sekiro is more on the more mythical side, where there's like creatures and things of that nature, but that's the more evil kind of dark folklorish side of stuff that Tenchu never got into. So if you ended a Sekiro game with like a Rikimaru at the end of it, and you use that as a jump start to like just reboot the franchise, like have a new part 1 essentially, people would fucking love that. And you don't even have to make it exactly like Souls. You could make, or like Sekiro, you could make it just have a different team under that same umbrella working on something very similar but much more loose, because Sekiro feels very heavy, you know?
Right.
You need that kind of loose feel, backflips, front flips, tucks. Like the way he moves is very nimble. You know what I mean? If you have that in this game, dude, I would have gotten that team that did Origami. I would have gotten those guys a long fucking time ago.
Nice.
And just been like, listen, we need you to just work on the new Tenchu. This is what you guys want anyway, right?
Right.
Like, this is what you're doing this for. This is the big leagues now. Let's do it. I think the idea of shared universes is cool if it's done right. So that would have been cool.
I was gonna say people love crossovers, so
yeah.
Could definitely be fire.
For the indie stuff though, because you got me thinking that because that was shown on the Summer Games Fest first, was a lot of the Day of the Devs I think killed it. I know some people disagree with me. They liked the main part of the Summer Games Fest. I guess the reason why I liked the Day of the Devs showcase a little bit more was just simply because there's a lot of, I get excited for indie games. Pfeffer plays them a lot, and that's the main focus of a lot of her streams. So it's like I guess I got excited for her because that, as well. And I like the ideas that are coming out, and that Voca Bulantis game, the stop and go game, that everything was handmade, that game looks fucking fire. Like that, I cannot wait to either watch Pfeffer play or play that shit myself, because it looks really, really awesome. And there's a lot of other things like
what game is this again?
It's called hold on.
Voca Bulantis.
Yeah, Voca Bulantis. Yeah, VOKA.
I think I saw that already.
And
just make sure. Crazy.
Yeah, and
like,
that
it
game
looks cool, but then when they show you how they did it, you're like, whoa, holy shit.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh shit! This looks nuts.
And they showed like how they did it, and that it's real stop and go. They did different. Every time they did a motion, they also did different lighting for each motion, so that way they can capture the shadows. It looks fantastic.
Real early Tim Burton shit.
Right, exactly.
I did the same thing on the stream. I was like, this reminds me of Tim Burton so much.
Yeah, man. That movie almost never got made because of how stressful it was and how long it took.
Which one?
The Nightmare Before Christmas. That movie almost never came out.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, if you watch the movie, the show, Movies That Made Us.
Okay, yeah.
On Netflix, they talk about that shit, and they talk about how that it had the whole team stressed. Like, it was a crazy, like, insanely tight procedure to make that movie possible.
Oh, that's wild. All right. I went to there was I think it was at the MoMA. It was one of the museums in New York, and they had like a whole Tim Burton exhibit. I went over there, and they had some of his set pieces and the costumes. And not to go too off topic, it was just a fire event. I love Tim Burton, so seeing all of his like costume and prop work and his sketchbooks and his thought process as he's building these things, it was insane to see like his creativity. From day one, like since he was a kid, he's got these images like that same style since he was like an 8-year-old.
Wow.
Insane.
See, that's fire. It's crazy when you see like a lot of these like directors and stuff that they as kids that they were doing this shit. I forgot what director was doing did the whole, well, I don't know about the whole thing, but he did the King Kong movie and did his own stop and go on his own. He had like a little shitty camera, I think his father or somebody owned, and I was like, that's cool, man. It kind of reminds me of this. It's like when I was a kid, one Christmas, for some reason my parents bought me a radio, and that was like the main graduation gift, and I was like, a radio? I had no idea why they bought me that shit, but they bought me and my sister a radio, and I used the hell out of that shit. And I used to record myself talking. I used to do this for you. I don't know if you remember, AutoCat, but a couple of times you stayed over, I would record the game music from like Sonic or whatever, and I would act like a radio host and play and record the game music while hosting a show. And here we are.
That's funny. I don't know if I remember that. That's what, like,
yeah, I mean, this was like
playing some of the games, but
yeah, I was probably like 8 or 9, and you're like 2 years younger than me, so you know you were probably like 6 or 7. Yeah, so that was forever ago. But yeah, but yeah, like you know, it's cool to see like different shit though, you know what I mean? And I think that's what got me like the most excited, that these were like weird ideas, and yeah, and maybe they're not all that action packed or that crazy or whatever, but it's like, I don't know, I just love the new ideas and the different things, and it's like, you know, it's cool to see. Even that weird, the one that we said we didn't like, the Despelote, the soccer game that, you know, looked like some that off-color thing. Yeah. Yes, like it was probably the weakest one that I really didn't care about. But the fact that they got like real recordings of people, like, you know, real what's the ambient noise of a park, you know, where it takes place, and you hear people freaking cursing in the background in Spanish, and it's like, it's fucking awesome. I'm like, so that's cool. Even though it's probably not for me, I just, you know, different shit is, you know, it's cool. You know?
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't mean to shit on that game, but yeah, something about it, I was just like, no.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It really didn't pique my interest as far as like me wanting to play it, but just looking at how they made it and all that, I found that pretty fascinating.
Road 96 looked really cool too.
Yes, Road 96, yup, with the different choices you make and all that, right? Yeah. That one was.
It's pretty hard not to be excited by like indie games nowadays, because they're like at a level where they're not very indie anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're not making these with Dungeon Creator 3. It's like they're using real fire tools.
Exactly, and it's funny that you said, because that's one of the things I've been talking to Pfeffer about, is the fact that this is, generationally, this is the third generation of indie, because indie started on the Xbox 360. That's where like it first, on the Xbox Arcade, so remember we've talked about it where with things like Geometry Wars and Braid, who started it off, and now then it blew up on PS4, on the PS4 Xbox One generation, and now this is we're on the PS5, and we're on the next one, and it's like, I'm excited to see, there was that one game where with the layering, remember, it's like, it's still very pixely, but it's super layered. I forgot the name of that one.
Talking about it now, I can't find it.
Well, I forgot where they showed that. I guess that wasn't on the.
Was that an Arcane game? No,
I don't think so. Oh yeah, Walk was the last one here. Okay, so yeah, no, I forgot which one it was now.
Yeah.
Oh well, but the way that you can see that now they're getting better ideas and different things are happening, and now now these people who started with their first game last gen on PS4 and PC and all that now are making their second, if not third game, and it's like they're experienced now, and we're so now it's like, I think this is really cool. I'm very excited for this indie generation, because they're the ones bringing in the fresh ideas. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they've taken, now they're you're getting into more AA territory, or whatnot with stuff like that. So, which speaking of AA, what happened?
No, I was gonna say another one that I'm excited about. Fucking Metal Slug, man.
Oh yeah, the RTS, not
Tactics.
RTS. Yeah, the tactic game. Yeah,
it looks pretty cool. And like that was unexpected.
Right? Like, it just came out of like nowhere. It was like
turn-based strategy Metal Slug game. Like, what? I like that it looks exactly like a Metal Slug game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Turn-based Metal Slug. Who'd have seen that coming?
Right?
Yeah, right.
Like, and if it keeps that same feel of Metal Slug, then it's gonna be, I feel like it'll be funny and like
I was gonna say same goofy feel, yeah.
Right.
I always remember my dad would take me to the military base when he would go over sometimes Jersey, and for whatever reason in the commissary, the shopping area that they have on bases, they had like a little arcade, because they knew you leave your kids whatever. So I'd get a bunch of quarters, and they had Metal Slug, and I would always go spend like an hour just dropping quarters in Metal Slug, get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
It was a good time though.
Yeah, Metal Slug was always like freaking fun as fuck in the arcade. It's not as fun on console. I remember that game on console always felt like, you know, like you can continue too much.
It's not the same, yeah.
But speaking of AA, the Plague Tale sequel, that shit looks like it's.
Yeah.
I hope them like it already looks like they're updating the graphics on that. And the first game was pretty dope. You know, I gotta say, the first game was pretty dope. I streamed the whole thing of that, and yeah, that game was a lot of fun. So I was really surprised. That surprised me and excited me a lot. Was the new Plague Tale game. And if the person, just last real quick about that, it was just that this French person, or they said they were French, came into the stream when I was streaming, and they said it's based on a series of like teen books over there.
Oh right, yeah.
And they were telling me that it's a whole series, and that they said that this one is probably covering the first book of a series. So I think each story is like a 3-part series. So if they're following that, this might be the second of a trilogy. So
I got you.
Yeah, okay. So it's as surprised as I was, I guess I wasn't surprised that they are making it, because like I said, that random person came to my stream actually brought that to my attention. So I thought that was really cool to see that. I was like, oh, maybe they're right then.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I'm glad to see that they're getting the support. Like, I don't know how well it sold or didn't sell, but it's one of those games that you wouldn't expect them to really keep pushing. But
exactly. So
I'm really happy to see that they are.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was fire. It was a very fun game.
Single player games are not dead. You just got to do them right.
Staying on E3-ish news, but veering.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Kojima redoing Shadow Moses? Did you see that?
Wait,
hold on. If we talking Kojima,
hold on 1 second.
If you're talking Kojima, is that what we really want to talk about? I mean, there's some other things if you want to talk about Kojima, you know.
No, there's a lot of things about Kojima, and we're gonna get to that, I'm sure. But
let's say we got Bluebox.
That PS5 Death Stranding trailer was nothing but Metal Gear nods.
No, you're right. Like that whole shit. See,
the box, the mice, the fucking guards, everything about that layout looked like, instead of crates, it was these tanks. Yeah, it looked like Shadow Moses.
Yeah, like he was obviously like, it was obvious nod, and then he didn't know what to do with the box, and he jumps into it. I was like, wait, what's going on here? What is this? I was like,
he's hinting off at a fucking Metal Gear remake.
See, everyone's blowing up. I hope, I tweeted it out just to put it out there, because you know, we always say these things and we talk about them, and then I never tweet, I never say anything, and then they come true, right? Like that's happened on this show a bunch of times, and
happens fucking every week.
Right? And it's like, so I get it. Everyone with the whole Bluebox thing, everyone is talking about Silent Hills. I don't know if I believe that it's Silent Hills. I feel like that's a red herring, and it to me it leads more to Metal Gear, and I'll break down really quick why. Number one, a few months ago, I don't know if you remember, or back in November, December actually, Demon Souls, there was weird noises you heard in the main place where you spawn at in Demon Souls, and everybody was saying it sounds like sounds like when Metal Gear Rex is moving around. That's number one, or whatnot. And then Blue Point made that game, so the fact that it's Bluebox, I'm like, maybe the play is not so much that it's you know, Bluebox is this fake company that's supposed to be making Silent Hills. Like maybe it's fucking, you know, that's bullshit, and they're really going with Metal Gear because it's BBGS, which BB has been in, you know, Big Boss, or BB from fucking Death Stranding, you know, and then GS, you know. So as a joke on Twitter, I put like it's Big Boss Gear Solid, you know, and then the game that, you know, that Hassan Karaman or whatever his name is, that has the same initials as Hideo Kojima, and that Karaman means
translate to
everyone, you know, I'm sure, you know, you've been following, so if you know that that guy on he's named Sneaky Warrior on PlayStation, and he's playing a game called Demon's Blood that you can't access, and just the fact that it's you know, Bluebox, maybe it's Blue Point, and, you know, it's Demon's Blood, you know, maybe it's like maybe those are the hints that lead in. I'm just like, what if it's just Metal Gear? What if he's just fucking around and it's just Metal Gear remake that he's been wanting to do? There's a movie coming out. There was already rumors that that things are happening. And years ago, I know he's always said he's done with Metal Gear, but years ago, before he left Konami, he said if he was gonna do anything Metal Gear after 5, it was gonna be a remake of Part 1. And he said the next game he wanted to do with the Fox engine was a Metal Gear Solid remake, another one like after Two and Snakes.
If he makes a Metal Gear Solid like I listen, I'm not naive. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like something big Metal Gear related is happening this year. It's all but proven. It feels like there's just too many things. I've seen this happen before, and it turns out to be some next level shit. Like maybe they did say that was just a way to throw us off. They said they said no to his new game because they want him for Metal Gear. You know what I mean? And Sony has the money to pay for that under the table. You know what I mean? That's not hard for them. And Konami's not doing shit with that fucking IP, man. They're done with it. I feel like they know it's a dead end. If Sony's willing to pay an arm and a leg to give it back to this guy who created it, it takes it off their back and they can use it to fund whatever other bullshit they want to do.
Exactly. And the thing is that Bloober was the rumor for doing the next Silent Hill. So it's like, is that bullshit? Like something's happening here. Whether it's Silent Hills, whether it's Metal Gear, something with this abandoned game is happening. I don't care what anybody says. They're like, oh yeah, y'all have too much time, and that shit angers me so much. People say, oh, you have too much time on your hands. I'm like, it's just fun. Like I don't believe any of it. I don't know what's true, but hey, sometimes the mystery is fun. Like speculating can be fun. Like who gives a fuck? Like it's
those graphics looked way like. It didn't look like Silent Hills. It didn't even look as good as Silent Hills. It looked weird. It looked like a demo that was thrown together and it's not real. Something about it felt super fake about it. Like it felt super fake and wasn't impressive enough of a demo to show at an event like this. When you have all these fucking games that look like first person, you just have Resident Evil 8 drop. You have them showing Back 4 Blood. They're showing Redfall. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of impressive looking games and that game just kind of pops out from a developer we never heard of, and
Keely's all excited to talk about it. Like, what the fuck? Why the fuck does Keely even give a shit about this?
This is 100% a ploy. This is exactly what we saw with Moby Dick Studios and Metal Gear 5
8 or whatever it was.
1778, whatever it was. And we saw the first trailer, and I remember saying it. I looked at them because the first trailer they didn't reveal that it was Metal Gear. It just said Phantom Pain.
Right.
It had these little things that you couldn't tell were like partial letters in the middle. The reveal came like after that, and then they filled in the rest of the letters and it said Metal Gear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But the first trailer just showed, like a snake in a bed and them getting attacked by fire, and there he was, that opening scene where he's taking him out the hospital.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that they did that pretty well. But I remember even seeing the back of this character's head and being like, bro, that's obviously Snake. Like the fact that they even showed you that much left me feeling like, and he had a patch on his eye,
right?
Or his eye was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know what? I might be the patch part. Maybe that came after, but I know for sure I saw the back of the head and being like, that's Snake. Like I was excited.
I think he had like bandages that did cover up one.
Yeah, it covered up part of his face, but I remember thinking the same thing, like, what the fuck is this? And then when people were piecing it together, I'm like, that's not just Metal Gear. Like I remember when it finally dropped that it was. I don't remember being that surprised. I was like, oh, but it looks like. I think I was late to the party, but it looks like Metal Gear. Like it looks like Snake.
Like it looked like it. Like it didn't feel like, oh, this is It was different, and it felt like a Kojima game, like the weirdness of it.
When you were saying he's read this Shadow Moses, oh, you mean sorry, you were talking about.
Yeah, like I was just talking about the Death Stranding. Like I know what he was trying to do there. That was what that was, bro. Like, it was not accidental. This was 100% a remake. Like the tone, even the color palette used for this part of the demo, like that gray bluish. Just that, even that alone brings you back to that opening. Like it looks almost exactly like it. All it needed was an elevator at the back.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was pretty similar.
it's super reminiscent of it. You know, even though there's no snow, they still put those whites in there, like that rust on the floor and like the stained floor to give the impression and the lighting to make it feel like it looks like it's set to make you feel like it's snow, even though it's not. It just gives the image of that. It's very reminiscent of Metal Gear. And then you follow it up with the box, you know, and then the mice in the vents, which is how you find your way out of scenarios in Metal Gear. You're not going to sit here and tell me this is not a straight up, either he's trolling, which is some dickhead shit, or this is what we're saying is going to be. But one thing's for sure, he meant to make you think about Metal Gear when he made this.
Right. Like, I don't think it was even trying to not.
And maybe it's a remake with Norman Reedus playing fucking Snake. Who knows?
Or maybe this is like this it'll have like, you know, some gameplay ideas or some shit, you know, thrown in there. Yeah. I don't know. I just hope it is something Kojima related, because too much shit points to that, too many coincidences, and I don't know. I really don't believe it's just. And then Schreier, you know, had an interview with Hassan just yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna say, did he?
Yeah, a phone interview, and Schreier's playing into it. Oh, it left me with more questions than answers, and I'm just like, he doesn't want to say who's funding the game. He doesn't want to.
So it wasn't a broadcasted interview.
No.
I was gonna say, like,
it was an over the phone interview. I'm like, who's not doing video calls nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, and like, no one's seen this guy's face yet, like real, like moving face yet. I'm like, it's bullshit. I don't know.
It's very clearly Kojima. It's just a matter of, I mean, to me at least, it's a matter of Silent Hill or Metal Gear.
Right. Like, what is it? Maybe the Silent Hill thing is the ploy and it's the other thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was thinking Metal Gear is too obvious, but you know what? With Phantom Pain, it was pretty obvious too. It was just kind of people overthinking it and putting other things on it, making it something else. If you really just looked at it at face value and just went with your first thought, you probably thought Metal Gear. So maybe there's more of the same. Just don't overthink it. It's like, nah, it's Metal Gear. It's a box. He hops in it. Like, stop it. It's Metal Gear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, you know, that was for the Death Stranding director's cut. So, I mean, I don't even know what the fuck.
Linking it, you know what I mean? Like, just connecting these things, and that news, now you're starting to hear about this, and you just get that video, like, all right.
That's what I'm saying. And then the Dutch studio is his satellite studio was there was a Dutch word or something on the back of Norman Reedus in that thing too. So I'm like, maybe it's not.
He has the flag, or she has like the Dutch flag or some shit.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, what else could it be? Like he said, it starts with S and ends with, but I'm like, maybe it's a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. You see, he's in the woods. There's fire. He's by himself. He gets thrown off the plane. I don't know.
I would take that. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, right? You know, people really try to say in some comments that Metal Gear Solid 3 wasn't that great. They were like, I didn't like 2, and after 3, I gave up on him. I'm like,
newsflash, people are fucking stupid.
Yo, like,
no
how did
that shit was whack?
There's no way that you play Metal Gear Solid 3 and that's what made you stop liking Kojima. Like, come on, 4 was, first of all, should have been the one, and even that was, as a game, was fire. The story was trash, but as a game, Metal Gear Solid 4 was fire, and even 5 as a game was fire. Just Konami didn't let him finish. That, to me, that was the only thing wrong with it. I mean, I know we have different opinions, but still, it's like,
no,
3 should have been the one that made you believe. That's what made a lot of people believe.
I was gonna say 3 is what got me super intertwined. I was like 1 did it. 1 was enough, but then 2 kind of knocked it down. I was like, all right, this is getting a little funky. And then 3 was like, nah, this is he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. He's a genius, and whatever he does, I'm in.
Yep. And so, I don't know. Anyway, so before we end up here for the next 16 hours, going back to E3, did you guys see that Gearbox presentation?
Them gears and them boxes. I sure did.
I don't know if you know, but Homeworld 3 is coming out.
Oh wow!
Not a remake, the real I don't know if you. That shit was horrible, bro. That whole. First of all, Gearbox, who gives a fuck you? Like, I get people like Borderlands. You can like Borderlands, that's fine. But why are you acting like Homeworld 3? Anybody gives a fuck about that? They showed it like after every trailer, they showed a Homeworld 3 update. It's the next game. Yeah, you don't remember that shit? It was like every trailer was fucking Homeworld 3 this, Homeworld 3 that. Like, it's a game from like the early 2000s or late 90s. Like, why are you acting like this shit is like, that's a niche title. I'm sure, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's plenty of people excited for it, but the way they like made it seem like it's this like
next level.
Yeah, like it's just an RTS. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I get it, it's cool, it's coming, but like after every fucking trailer was Homeworld 3 is being made, and then like a one-liner from a developer, like this shit was fucking comedy. And then what else came out of that? Fucking other than that, we already knew about Tina's Tiny Tina's in the Wonderlands, fine, whatever. Right. But Godfall coming, Godfall that can only run on PS5 is coming to PS4.
Yeah. Interesting. So interesting how that happened.
Right? Like so many people didn't play Godfall that now they had to release it on PS4. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm surprised they even wasted their time with that, but good for them.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a fucking glorified tech demo. Like, that's what Microsoft did with that Spartan game.
Right.
First, it's just a tech demo. Play it. Looks really pretty. Thanks. Next.
Yeah, and I played a little bit of it. It's all right. And it's not even, and honestly, it has one of those, it's like that gold filter. So like, no matter how much you try to adjust the colors, it's always too bright or too washed out. It's never quite right. It's not even a good tech demo in my opinion. And I have a fucking OLED and it doesn't do a good job displaying the color. It's like this weird filter over it that, I don't know. It was kind of hard to look at. Like nothing about it was really, and the game is just mediocre on top of that.
Yeah. I hear that.
Anyway, but yeah, Gearbox showed up, I guess.
Yeah, the Tiny Tina thing, it looks interesting. I don't know. I think they gotta do something. They gotta develop. They gotta move forward somehow. They're relying like on their Borderlands shtick a little bit too much now. Like they gotta figure something else out. New IP, something. It's getting stale, I think. I don't know.
The Tribes of Midgard looked all right. That looks like they're trying to bank on that what's that game? Valheim a little bit there, but
yeah.
And that's probably the only thing I was excited about from them. And then that whole like, it was just embarrassing when Kevin Hart came out to talk to. It's like this guy probably begged, like I want to meet Kevin Hart. I wanted to be on camera, like, because he comes out of anytime you see an actor come out of a trailer. To me, that is the most half-assed, like, bullshit. He went like that to give him a high five, and Kevin Hart just completely goofed him. And then he turns around and his bounces right there, and he's just like, he just walked right back into his trailer like, all right, I did the thing. They probably paid him like 50 G's just to come out and talk to this guy, and he probably paid it. He probably paid for that shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like, he don't give a fuck about you. This guy's busy. He's making movies. He don't give a fuck. You're what? Some CEO some shitty CEO of a company, of a game company that's not even, I guess, it's big enough, but I just hate what's his name?
Kevin Hart?
No, Randy Pitchford. I just hate Randy Pitchford. Yeah, I don't like that guy at all. He's a smug asshole, and when you read about him and learn about what he did, he fucked over his own people. Like not getting the fact that he didn't want to pay the voice actor the right amount of money, that he stole like $12 million that he didn't give a bonus to. Like he's fucked up. He's like one of the, I mean, he loves to be in front of the camera.
You can kind of tell too. Kevin Hart was like, you could tell when they're like, the actors are joking around and going along with it, but it's like Kevin is not happy to be there, and they're trying to change the script to fit his attitude. But I do not think this is what they really wanted to have showing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because he was just like, yeah, I'm here. What's up? Haha. Yeah, I gotta go do this. Like, yeah, pretend you're annoyed. It's like, nah, he's actually annoyed. He does not want to be doing this shit. He's super tight right now.
I'm sure that guy begged. I'm sure. Like just knowing it, like, of him and how he's just one of these douchey assholes. It's like he probably like he looked too excited to be around him too. He was just like, hey man, what's good? I was just like,
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of Forza 5 though?
It's pretty.
Looks amazing. Don't know how much I'll play it.
You both make me sick.
It looks incredible though.
Don't get me wrong, like it looks fire. I liked 4. I liked 4 from what I played of it, and I'm excited for it. I'm gonna play. It's on Game Pass. Anything on Game Pass, I'm probably gonna end up trying it out at least one time. That's a first party title. I am a little disappointed about the ray tracing though. What about that? What do you think about that? I mean,
What do you mean?
There's no ray tracing. It's literally only gonna be in the showcase mode, where they show the car and you can take pictures and shit. What's that
I
called?
didn't even realize that was a thing. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
they said.
there's no ray trace, not even in 30 FPS mode.
On console and PC.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about PC. PC is a different beast. I'm talking about console.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know me, when it comes to this, I'm thinking PC. But either way, you know what? If it looks gorgeous, which it did, I'm okay with that. It looks stunning. The lighting, whatever lighting system they have, it's good enough.
I mean, in my opinion, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm a little disappointed for Xbox owners though. Like, you're expecting power. You know, ray tracing is what they're selling, you know, these things on, and it's like one of your biggest. I would think a racing game would have all the bells and whistles that are available on the system. So on the console side, it's weird. Yeah, what's that called?
Kind of surprised.
When they just show the car in like in the garage. I forgot what it's called.
We can call it showcase mode, but yeah, because I'm not really.
Oh yeah,
sure.
well and it's just kind of spinning around slowly.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they had a drone mode.
Yeah, it's a showcase.
Yeah, no, it had
drone,
some
showroom,
drone or photo mode.
Yeah, like it's a showroom, but I forget. It has a name. It has a name, and I was reading about it. I just couldn't remember the name. But yeah, I mean, what else?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna say Square. What did you think about the whole Guardians of the Galaxy? Did you see that, Jose? The Guardians of the Galaxy gameplay?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I want to be excited about it, but I don't like those games, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, for me, I feel like those games, like the Avengers. Those who know me know I'm a real big comic book fan.
Right.
Daniel's known me since we were in junior high school, and I've always been talking about X-Men and shit since we were kids. I want to see all these movies or games do well. But it feels like you have this huge universe that's already been established. Why not just interconnect? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a hard time to get these actors to reprise their roles for the voices. There's no way it's happening. They're just too busy doing movies and doing the what ifs and, you know, the series that are on Disney Plus now. Yeah. But I just feel like you come as close as possible to that and deliver a cool game. Like that last game, it felt very redundant. You know, it felt the same thing over and over again, and that was just a demo. I was like, I don't even want to fucking play this game. I just didn't even buy it, you know?
Right.
And I mean, just today I read that the latest update reveals your IP address, so people are going fucking crazy because people are like, their information is just out there.
Yeah.
Like, it says your username, and then it says their IP address right next to it, and it's like that kind of shit cannot be happening. And then Guardians looks like it's the same. It's another Marvel, you know, Square Enix title. It looks the same. Like, it feels and looks the same. And maybe it'll be more fun, but I'm definitely just not even really. For me, it just did nothing. It was like, these are just throwaways for me. It feels like.
I'll give you that. It definitely looks the same. Like, like it looks like they just took the engine from the Avengers game and made a single player game out of it. And for sure, it kind of looks, it gives me that vibe. I am excited that it is a full single player game. That I was happy about, because I want to see more of that. Right. And you know, and it looked cool that you can make choices and stuff like that. So I mean, I do like games like that, and you know, I am a little bit excited. I'm hoping it's good. It was weird seeing it on Switch, but then I found out like 2 days or yesterday, as a matter of fact, it's a Switch stream only. Like, it's the cloud version on. So it's not like being downscaled for the Switch, which makes me happy, because that means that it's not being held back by the Switch, or like, you know, you're gonna get, I guess, a decent version if you choose to buy the cloud version on. You know, it's like fucking Stadia wannabe right there. But
battle for the throne.
But the fact that, you know, I think that no, I'm excited for it. I actually, you know, I am cautiously optimistic about that game, because it's its own story, because they went in with like making like the characters seem like them, and you get to make choices and see them play out, and it looks like it could be a lot of fun. Hopefully they fix those glitches, because it did have a lot of dips, you know, frame rate dips and all that, but right. Right, because I know AutoCAD was like, what the hell?
Yeah, and I know the release date's a little bit, it's very soon. It seems sooner than it should be for the amount of glitches or the amount of optimization it needs. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. I'm surprised. Like, I'm more into it than I thought I'd be. Like, I'm with Jose on the Avengers game. That game is hot doo-doo, and no one should ever touch it.
Yeah.
But this one looks like they completely changed like the style of it. Same engine, whatever, but it looks a lot more enjoyable to me.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like they
And the
put
music
work
is
into
good,
this.
so.
Oh yeah, that's what's gonna be fire. The soundtrack that it's gonna.
Yeah.
We haven't had like a dope soundtrack like that like since like GTA Vice City. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
and it makes sense because it's Quill.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Quill is literally his lifeline is that fucking Walkman.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you get power ups from the Walkman, I thought that was a nice touch. Like I think
think it's definitely a lot more creative and it has a lot more going on. I want it to be awesome. I just won't get as excited for it. I did that with the first one. I was so hype, and then I saw how repetitious it looked and felt, and
that was Avengers. That's a multiplayer, like so that's
yeah. Gameplay wise, I mean, like it kind of looks like it would feel the same. I can't tell for sure.
Right.
And from that camp, it's just I didn't even expect that to be happening. Like it just came out of nowhere. Maybe they're trying to start like more of these. I could see them doing more, but I wish it was the team handling the Amazing Spider-Man, you know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That game was perfect. That game is awesome. Like if you said like he already has so many interactions with, or like loosely like taking pictures, you have like the Sanctum Sanctorum, you know, from Doctor Strange, or the Wakandan embassy and the Avengers Tower. Like they've been, you're in that world, and it feels cool to know that. Like if that team or someone under that umbrella was handling it and it played similar, I could have definitely seen that being like a way big deal, and like having, you know, like interconnected cross.
You know what?
That would be a smash.
You know what you got me like really thinking, like, yo, because I was just thinking right now, like Square. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck does Square have anything to do with making a Marvel game? It's like, I feel like, yo, Sony's bargaining with, you know, for the MCU should have been like, we'll do the video game universe. That shit would have been fire. Like, give us the license to give to our teams, our studios, and we'll do a fire, you know, MCG, you know, game universe, you know, the MCGU or whatever the fuck, you know, MGU, you know, like the video game universe. Cause that sounds way more fire. Like imagine them coming out, you know, you make one engine like they did with Avengers, you know, and then tweak it, you know what I mean? Use and so that it fits different styles of games or whatever. So if you want to make a Spider-Man game or, you know, Guardians game, or then do like, you know, I don't know, fucking a Captain America fucking,
1 second,
you know, that would have been I think that would have been way more fire than what. It's like they like these big companies, they give these IP, these like, what the fuck is Disney doing pretty much? Like, why the fuck isn't Disney just like do like you did in the 90s, keep that shit in-house, pick a studio, don't give out too many, you know, give that studio out to too many people. I mean the IPs to too many people, because they had Capcom was the only other one that made Disney games, and they made fire Disney games, you know what I mean? But Virgin did the rest, and it's like they can't, and they were all dope ass games. So it's like, you know, have two studios, maybe one in-house, maybe one, you know, additional to help out, and, you know, make sure the quality is where you have the movies at. That's like Disney made sure the quality of their games back in the 90s were fire, were like really up to par. Like, you know, I was streaming Lion King the other night, and that game still holds up, like artistically, you know, even to this day it holds up, like graphically. Like I was like, man, this game still looks great. The 16-bit soundtrack on the Sega, you know, on the Sega sound chip was fucking fire. Like that game and Aladdin still hold up, like, you know, graphically to this day. You know, they're timeless, like 90s 16-bit games, and it's just like. And that's because Disney, I didn't know that. They made sure to, you know, after a while, they wanted to make sure, I think one or two games that didn't do well, they finally made sure that all their games were going to be like in-house, and they were going to oversee. I think they oversaw almost every Disney game that got made. And that's why a lot of them were really great and ahead of their time. Yeah,
that's kind of, you know what, for me, it feels like, I'm sure there's like so many things to factor in, but from my point of view, it always felt like they were more willing to take that risk back then. You know, like right now I wouldn't be against, you know, Marvel and Disney, you know, saying that from now on they're gonna just hire indie teams to do like these fucking crazy dope indie games based off their characters. That shit will be explosive, in my opinion. Like if you saw a game come out of nowhere that had something to do with the Marvel universe, but played like a fucking Limbo or Origami. I'm just going off the top of my head how like gameplay wise and fun factor, a lot of these indie teams know exactly what people are looking for, and I feel like if you get teams like that to handle, just say, hey, listen, we want to give you this, we're looking for a Black Panther indie game that we would like a side scroller or something, like just for fun. They could easily fund that and not lose any money. Like they could do that shit for nothing and just be experimental and see people just gravitate toward that.
Exactly.
Because people already gravitate toward a good indie game. It's been shown. That's why companies like Play Dead are so successful. Like they could easily deliver a game that people want, that looks aesthetically pleasing and people really enjoy that. So that the strength is there. So what happens when you back that with a huge name? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let them do what they want. This is not far from what they did in Hollywood. You know what I mean? They gave Kevin Feige the reins, and Jon Favreau was just there with the ideas, and they created something insane. If it wasn't for that little risk, it would have never happened.
Exactly. I don't know.
I think
it's
something like that could be cool.
And going off, it's like they have the Lucas interactive coming back. I forget what the actual name is, but they
LucasArts.
Yeah, like,
LucasArts.
but isn't it like, well, whatever. But yeah, the LucasArts studios coming back, and that's now that because the contract now with EA is over, or by the time for their first games they're prepping from now because it's about to be over in 2023, I believe. So like that's EA's contract was that long, but now since it's about to end, they want games from other studios coming out by the time the contract's over. So that's why we're gonna start getting Star Wars games from different people. That's why we're getting the Knights of the Old Republic by another team that's not EA.
I see.
Yeah, because the contract's up. That's why we're getting fucking Indiana Jones game that's supposed to be coming out soon. So it's like, yo, let's bring the Marvel games in. Like bring I feel
them
like
in hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
dude, you don't even have to do just like we come from an era of either shitty video game adaptations of movies. You know what I mean? Like the Batman Forever game. That game is the most frustrating shit I've ever played.
On the Mortal Kombat engine?
With the Mortal Kombat engine, with the motion capture. I fucking played that game for a whole day and didn't know that. I didn't know how to drop from one floor to the next.
Yep.
Like nothing I did worked, and then even the booklet didn't say shit, and I don't even remember how I found out. It was like holding down and hitting both shoulder buttons or some stupid shit,
and
that I guess I didn't do in the right order or whatever. Like,
and the start button was like kick on Sega Genesis. It was ridiculous.
It was bad. And like I'm like, just bring all these games in. They're gonna be successful. Like you're talking about some of the. Look at even the Avengers, shitty Avengers that came out was moderately successful. So what happens when you deliver something that's actually good?
Exactly.
And people actually want to play this? Like, I know it's not easy to make that type of game set in that universe, but man, if you start just delivering these types of, like, we used to get Spider-Man and X-Men games randomly, like random as fuck, like Maximum Carnage. That shit was just all right, we're gonna make this game, and it was awesome.
Yeah, and then we had and on 360 we had mass Spider-Man games, because you had the Web of Shadows, then you had like the dimension one, which was just like, didn't even have like open sky to web sling. It was just like a indoor Spider-Man beat 'em up. Like, it was the weirdest shit. And it's like, they came out with all these, like the Shattered Dimension, that's what it's called, and they had mass Spider-Man
Shattered Dimensions was cool too.
Yeah, and
like they had the dude who played his voice in the fucking game reprise his role, but he was playing Spider-Man like 2099.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He reprised his role in that, and that was cool. It's like essentially that game is what the new movie's gonna end up being.
Probably, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, so it's like, if they're gonna do it for Star Wars and those like old Lucas things, it's like, yo, have a Marvel game studio, and poach some fucking legendary developers or something. You got the money. It's like, yo, invest in the gaming side. Gaming is huge right now. It's in, and it's like, it just feels like where Disney's at now is like, yo, you're doing it for your movies. Like, you're going all in, making sure these movies are fire where you can, you know, because I know not every Star Wars movie has been good, you know, whatnot. But it's like you're trying, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to. They even flipped it because, you know, the MCU movies started to kind of not be that great until they realized, okay, we need to stop doing dumb shit, you know, and the shows are getting good, and it's like there's so much happening, and it's like, look at Netflix with their TV crossover with gaming. It's like, now do something big with gaming now, like, you know, like stop licensing out to these giant companies who are doing cash grab. Like the fact that they allowed the Avengers to be a fucking live service game with microtransactions is just so sickening to me. It's like, you know, it's like
they didn't know shit. They were like, whatever, do what you want.
Exactly. It seems like such a
the numbers. They're like, look how much money we can make.
Exactly. It's like, I get it, but it's like you're killing the brand now on the gaming side, when you should be like, yo, those sales will be there, and it's just longevity. Like, I don't know. It's like, maybe that's where they're going with the sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Where they're going with the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what gives me hope. So maybe if the Guardians does well, like maybe they'll say, okay, let's get away from Avengers. Let's start doing some dope single player experiences, you know, that mimic the movie, you know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I think for me, in a world where there was no, for me personally, this is just me, what I want as a fan and what I want as somebody who games, and, you know, what I want to play and see. I would have loved an Avengers game that took place in the realm of the Amazing Spider-Man, because they already planted those seeds, and that gameplay is excellent. So if you're giving us something that's like an amplified version of that, or a take on that with a twist to accommodate a certain character, or, you know what I mean? Because obviously, if you're playing an Iron Man game, he's gonna have a flight system that is nothing like Spider-Man's web slinging. But where it's 2021, we could get to that. You know what I mean? Like, you can make this game awesome. I just feel like
that's what the old Anthem team is working on, the new Iron Man.
Right, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's some of these Marvel games that are really long overdue. Like, Spider-Man was one of them. We had gotten a lot of Spider-Mans over the years. Some of them that were like pretty good. Some of them were awesome, but they just kind of came and went, and they were really good for what they were. And they want to kind of expand on what's popular now, which are these movies that are in the mainstream. Like, every day you see something about the Spider-Man movie, and Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Is like, this is a huge franchise, and Spider-Man, that's the game Spider-Man deserved. And I remember playing Prototype and saying, this is what the fuck Spider-Man needs to be. Like, the way this dude runs up the walls, and I could just zip zap across the fucking city and destroy shit and throw cars or whatever. Like, that feel of that game, and how like easy it was to fly through the city, it felt like a Spider-Man game. And essentially what we ended up getting was that, like, that game. Now I want a new Prototype to feel like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know,
even though go on, finish your thought.
No, that game just pretty much did a great job. And, you know, to throw in Avengers in our path, that was kind of like, you know, as cookie cutter as that one was. And especially when we have a Rocksteady and shit doing games like the Dark Knight series, where it's an insane open world, and the combat system is so fun, and there's so many elements that make the game great, including story. We haven't even talked about story. That story is pretty like, you know what I mean? Like, the Avengers broke up again. We don't want to see that shit again. We just saw that in the movies for like the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to see the Avengers break up again. That shit is stupid. They broke up like 1,000 times in the comics. We don't really care. You know, we want to see it. The point of playing a fucking game like the Avengers is to play with the Avengers and have them group up, and, you know, I get the drama aspect of it, but Spider-Man didn't have to do that. You know, Spider-Man just started off fun, and it was fucking, you're Peter Parker web slinging through the city, and the drama begins, you know. But it had a rich story. It had great writers. This shit was a cash grab, and it shows.
Exactly. And it's like, they could have done even something similar action, not a live service, and did episodic shit. Like, you know, like, have it where you start with Captain America, or you start with Iron Man, and each should have had their own individual story. Make it DLC that people are spending $40 every 6 months on this shit. I don't know. I think that would have been a lot more fun because you build up the game, you know, like that was like narratively, in my opinion. I think that would have been
absolutely.
Yeah.
If you handle the games the way you handle these movies, and you just plant these seeds, letting them know what might be coming in the future, you're looking at a very fun and successful, you know, experience.
Exactly. Yo, look at the dark picture anthology, you know, with like Man of Medan and all that they, you know, they have it every year. There's a new game coming out, and I'm like, they could have done something. Again, it has to be in the reason I say DLC and all that is because it has to be the same engine. I mean, if you know how video game works, it's hard to make multiple games, you know what I mean? Right. So making a whole a separate game for Iron Man and Hulk and, you know, Hawkeye and all that
as like, DLC, that becomes something
exactly. One engine, one game, but, you know, maybe you have a meaty, you know, starting game, and then maybe make the rest of them meaty, and they, you know, charge $60 every time you drop a new one, you know, until you have until there's a final, you know, release or whatever that you know, that has everything in it. And you could have really started to like change things up. Like, we never had this kind of crossover in movies before. It's like, how come they're not doing this shit with the game side? Like, yo, do something revolutionary that hasn't really been done, you know? Like,
I'm telling you, it's simple, dude. If you do an X-Men Spider-Man game and make it a remake of the 90s fucking Headache,
hell yeah,
like, that'll take off. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no way it's not going to, because if you do it well, which I'm confident they will, these are characters we want to see. Like, I'd love to control a rogue just flying through the city, and like, that shit would be nuts to me.
Exactly.
You know, like, that's what I want. I would love a rogue game now that I just thought about it. That
right? Like,
you're playing like Superwoman or some shit, but
yeah, like,
she's awesome.
Exactly, but and then she's not bulletproof either, right? So if I'm not mistaken, so it's like, you know, you could easily make a game, because that's the whole Superman dilemma. It's like, how do you kill Superman, you know, without it being gimmicky or something? So
yeah, exactly.
Oh well.
You know, I mean, we'll see where they go, but I mean, the cash grab shit definitely kind of kills it. You know, that was the sole reason why that Avengers game really. You see the way people feel about it. It's kind of like, I'm a huge fan of everything Marvel and DC. I love DC properties. I just think the movies suck. You know, and when these games come out, I get excited because I know, like, that new Gotham Knights game looks sick.
I hope it's good, man. I really hope it's good. Yeah. So,
you know, I think it could be good.
Yeah, I just hope it's not a live service, right? There hasn't been confirmed that it's a live service. It's online, but I really hope it's not a live.
Just co-op. I don't think it's.
I hope so, man. I hope it's just. I can't take it. It's always gonna be lukewarm bullshit with live services. So it's like.
Yeah, live service, the way that the current industry interprets it, is dead to me, and I hope it just dies overall because it's garbage.
Yeah, it's like you got to do something like what's that game that blew up? That very Japanese animation. What the fuck's the name of it? That came out on PlayStation. It's on mobile.
What are you doing it?
Huh? The one that looks like the fake Zelda that everyone said looks like Breath of the Wild. Wow, I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
Oh shit.
Pokemon.
Temtem. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'll tell you right now. I'll find it. Oh, what the hell is the name of it?
It's a live service game?
Yeah, it's free. It's a free to play. Looks just like
that
Zelda.
Black Desert shit, right?
No, it's not Black Desert. That's more of a realistic looking one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You said it was what kind of style?
Genshin Impact. That game. Genshin
Impact. Oh yeah. One of my boys was obsessed with that shit.
But the reason it's doing incredibly well, and because the reason for that is because you have a whole game. You have a whole game first, and then there's microtransactions in the game later as if you want to do end game, and the shit makes $200 million a month or some wild shit. Maybe not a month, but I know, like, in a few months of it being out, since its release, it's made, I think, almost $1 billion.
I'd say probably every 2 or 3 months it probably does.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, look at that. That's what these motherfuckers don't refuse to do. Give us a full full game you would normally charge $60 for, give that shit away. You give that shit away, people are gonna get into it and they're gonna spend money because they're gonna feel like, damn, I got this whole shit. And I'm hoping that's the guy who did this game set the precedent a little bit. But that's the problem with a lot of these live service games. You pay $60 and maybe 70 soon. You get half a game that's not all that great, and then you're expected to spend more money on this shit, and then you have this drip fed additional content. It's just like, give us a full fucking game, and give us a full dope Avengers game, for free, and then make your money after the fact. It's like they don't have, it's like there's no confidence there, it's like they don't want to take the chance, and it's like, and that's why a lot of these shits fail, because they're not addicting, they're not that fun. And
well, these styles of games, like the live service, like you guys are saying, it is pure cash grab, because this is just one area where I just have zero forgiveness for these developers, because there's no reason for these games to be this way. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many examples previously of how to do it. The technology is there. Like, there's no feeling that's holding them back. It's all just artificial, barriers that they're putting in front of themselves, because they're trying to just make as much money as possible.
Exactly. You want minimal effort and maximum profit, and it's like,
it's terrible.
It kind of feels like they're trying to mask it as a product for adults to enjoy, but the gameplay and the cookie cutterness of it is set for children.
Yep.
So the kids could orientate, they could look at an image of like Iron Man and know that, oh, I want to play that game, and they fucking gravitate toward it. It's fun as fuck for them, but like, there's too many games way ahead of that shit for that to be coming out right now. Like, the game has changed.
Exactly.
Literally, like, people aren't exactly. It's like if you give me a Fighting Force. Fighting Force was awesome. Remember how awesome Fighting Force was?
Hell yeah.
Good beat 'em up PS1. For those who don't know, and the game was short. It was like an hour and a half long. You could beat the whole thing. That game worked. It was a beat 'em up for PS1, and that shit worked. Like, it worked for the time. There wasn't anything like that on PS1, really. So it worked for them. Like, now if you give us that on PS5, that same shit, it's like, bro, are you serious? I've been fucking up Gotham like the last 10 years, way cooler than this.
Exactly.
Like, shit evolves, and they're not really moving with the times. They're giving us some bullshit. That game, I felt it in the demo, and that's my opinion. Like, some people they think it's it's fun, but it just gets boring quick.
Exactly, and that's the problem. That's why it dropped off, and it's like the player retention was just not there. And I'm like, I knew it. I don't know. From the set, once I heard it was like, I was like, this ain't gonna last. But
no.
But yeah, we can move on. Let's start ending it. Let's go over more of that Xbox E3, because that was definitely the more meatier one than anything. And I don't know, what do you think about it opening with just another trailer of Starfield?
I don't know, man.
You're Mr. Optimistic. That was enough?
Yeah, I loved it. I was excited because it's Todd Howard, it's Bethesda. I just wanted to know that there was something exclusive that they were working on, and now that knowledge is safely in my brain, I'm as happy as a clam. Fuck yeah, this is fine.
And what happens if it's another Fallout 76 but in space?
Then my game boner will die.
My game boner.
Yeah. Nah, it was cool. It sucked that it was just a video, but I wasn't expecting gameplay, I guess. I don't know. I guess it just hit the expectations. My expectations weren't crazy. I wasn't like, oh man, there's gonna be gameplay of Starfield. It's gonna be wild, and we're gonna know everything about it.
You're right. I didn't know what to expect.
Just the fact that it was coming out, and there was a general time frame, and we know it's exclusive. Like, that was enough. That cool.
Yeah, and I think wow, it's a whole year. It's a year and a half away. I don't know why I thought it was 1/22/22. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I didn't expect them to open the show with it.
No, yeah.
I thought that was gonna be like, like them playing, coy a little bit, and maybe at the end say, "Oh yeah, and one more thing." That should have been the one more thing. Everybody would have walked away from that show like fucking Xbox One E3 or whatever everybody would have been talking because we have a release date. You know what I mean? I think that was the best part of the trailer. There's a release date. So still a ways off. I think it's smart to not show anything. So you're right, and like, especially that's so far away. There's nothing to show. You shouldn't show anything yet. I think next June that's where we're gonna get the banger of a trailer. If not sooner. But yeah, I don't know. Stalker
I'm not worried about the Fallout 76 thing, just to bring it to that, just because I have my own theories on why Fallout 76 is even the way it is. And they've never done anything like that before. They've never had such a it was just so random, so different, so completely left field of what they have always done, that it was very, it was very clear this is not normal. This is not what to expect.
And that to me was like more of maybe a pressure, because remember, a lot of times they do this shit because it's pressure from shareholders. So maybe that was a very shareholder pressure game.
I feel like this was, we know Microsoft's coming to buy us. We don't want to get too involved cash-wise in this game because, we have other shit lined up. They've known about the buyout. They've known this for a while. And so Fallout 76 they just needed something in the middle, I feel. They needed something in between to do. And this was it, where they didn't have to put too much money into it. They didn't have to develop it too hard, you know what I mean? And it is what it is. Open world, no story. Boom. There you go.
That makes sense. And yeah, like I said, if I don't think we're gonna see anything like that from them again, probably for a very long time, which is great. I think now it's gonna be back to basics. Giant, open world RPGs that they're known for, as well as their dope FPSs that are gonna be coming out. And I hope that's where it stays. Game, Bethesda pass, and and that's all we need.
Agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, that what was that?
No, it's about Xbox. I was gonna say one of their titles coming out. This game called Replaced. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. Replace looks fire.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that actually.
Yeah, Replace looks really, really good.
It's like a 2D side scroller platformer. Yeah. It looks really crisp and really like modern, but it has like a 8-bit feel in some of the movements and some of the illustrations.
Right.
It looks sick. Like, I'm a platforming fucking junkie, yo. Like, I love a good platformer. Whenever I see one, I get excited.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't this is the game we were thinking about, wasn't it?
Well, this is one of them. Yeah, I was thinking the other one where you do like, it's more almost Castlevania-ish, so you're moving platforms as well. But yeah, this was the one that has
all the crazy lighting, and we were like, yo, like a indie side scroller with ray tracing. Yes, Replaced was the game I was thinking about earlier. This was the one because of the layering and the light. Yeah. Yes, this game I'm excited for. Hell yeah.
See, for me, anything that's sick, noir or like cyberpunk noir like this, and I'm sold. Like, that's all I need. I'm a sucker for that shit. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And the fighting looks fire too. That shit is gonna be banana.
Exactly. But yeah, they show more Back 4 Blood. I'm excited for that. I hope that game is that I played the demo, the gameplay trailer, and it was pretty fun for what I played. So hopefully an expanded version of that I'm looking forward to. So that should be some fun. I thought it was cool that the people from Just Cause are making Contraband. We didn't see any gameplay, but Just Cause did. I think like 4 was like one of its worst selling games and rated Just Cause games. So I think they probably were like, okay, we need a break from this. It's all we make, So hopefully it's dope.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, the Just Cause games, they were fun. It was just too much of the same, sort of like Far Cry type shit. But the games are fun. They were solid, like sandbox, jungle.
Yeah, that's literally all it is.
Jungle, sort of. Yeah.
Exactly. My son loves Just Cause. He loved he started with part 3, and then 4 he played the shit out of it. There's actually and there's a part he likes now. There's a part where you can there's like a little Easter egg. You can find the aha, like a room that's like the video of a
Yeah,
Take
oh, that's
on
fire.
Me. Yeah, and you
Yeah,
go
that's
in and
cool.
it changes. And he's like, oh, look at this. And now every time he knows that song, not because of that.
Take on me.
Exactly.
Awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they gonna say there was something. Well, besides Forza that I'm super excited about, of course. Halo looked good. Halo multiplayer looked fire.
Yeah, and the little bit of in-game footage they showed now was definitely a lot nicer looking than the original shit. I'm surprised they didn't show a little bit more of the open world. I'm a little baffled by that. I thought we were gonna see like a in-depth. I mean, it's coming out apparently. Yeah, like a little bit more. Like show us like what. But they're already planting the seed of it's not gonna be the greatest looking game ever. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a year delay, you know, without crunching and causing controversy. So I
gotta say, even multiplayer though, they did some side by sides. Like I saw another video, and they got rid of the weird like gold yellow overtones that it had. They made things a lot crisper. They added a lot of textures. They did some pretty substantial. That even as shown, it looks a lot better. Poppin' was better. The foliage, just they did a lot. I think the video they really want to focus kind of like old school, like, yo, Halo, we're about the multiplayer, bro. Like the single story is awesome and it tells a fun story and it's cool, but we're not fucking Naughty Dog. We're not like some dramatic game studio. We're about kicking ass and having really fun game moments.
No, you're right.
Development, it was always like, we're about developing 30 seconds of fun. You have 30 seconds of these, you know, big bursts of fun, and then a little bit of movement, scenery change, and then boom, more, you know, big bursts of fun, back and forth. And then story was secondary. So
yeah, it's true, and I mean that's fine. I mean, I'm not expecting the greatest story ever. I'm just expecting maybe some dope set pieces and some fun fights, and then the multiplayer to be fire. And I'm I'm excited for that, and that's gonna be great.
Give me some dope one-liners from a sergeant or a captain, whatever character they got. You know, some pithy shit from Cortana, whoever the AI is.
Oh yeah,
and you know, just more dope, cool moments like that between, you know, the elites and Master Chief. I don't need any super, you know, dramatic fucking whatever.
Exactly. Jose, did you check out that Somerville trailer? That looked like something you might enjoy.
Somerville?
Yeah.
Let me see if I saw it. Let's check it out.
Somerville.
It's like
yes, I did. Yeah.
I'm digging.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's good because I'm looking. The art style looks like it's decent. Looks like the lighting is getting.
It reminds me of fucking Inside.
Yeah, and then you know you have your dog with you and shit. So it looks like it's gonna be one of them real like.
Oh no, this is gonna be. Yeah, I didn't even. You know what's funny? I was watching this while I was working, so I was kind of glimpsing at it, but I didn't give it my full attention. I couldn't. But this looks like exactly what I'm talking about. Like this looks like Limbo.
Exactly.
Like kind of next gen Limbo-ish, and I like the idea of him. Like, it just looks crazy dramatic.
Exactly. Like it's gonna tear at the heartstrings for sure. But it looks like it's gonna be like
going on.
Exactly. Like actually, like it's gonna have its slow moments, but some dope action packed. Like
yeah, like they had this robot defending them. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's just like shooting back and shit. Yeah,
it's running away. It's like a Cyber Ninja style character. Metal Gear confirmed.
Exactly.
Somerville, if you take the L and flip it and put it on the other side, it's a box.
Hey, they said it starts with an S and ends with that ends with an E. My bad, forget it. You take the E out. Yeah.
Not even to go back into the Metal Gear thing, but I remember David Hayter saying that somebody close to him told him the game was coming.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, this is a few months ago.
I hope my tweet is right. I will die if Friday comes and it's gonna be an app that reveals the trailer. So
I know, and
this is this Friday.
This Friday. It was supposed to be today, and it got pushed to Friday.
Let's stop acting like this is a new IP. Like we're not dumb.
That's definitely not. Yeah.
If this is a new IP, I won't buy it out of spite.
Right? There's too much writing on this.
Now I'm not touching it, man.
I really think it's gonna be like silent. I don't know, Gear.
Yeah,
oh.
I don't know. Like it look. I'm getting major Metal Gear vibes in the air right now for some reason.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Like something bothers me. Like I feel like they're leading you on for the whole like Silent Hills thing. I really think
Yeah.
I really feel like that part is the bullshit. I really feel like that's where it's bullshit. I feel like it's gonna be survival. You're by yourself. You have to find what is it, like weapon parts or what it's saying. Oh, I forgot. But it doesn't sound like a Silent Hills if the description is real. It sounds like a Metal Gear.
Sounds like a survival. Yeah. It sounds like a super. It sounds like your big boss setting up your first. You're finally starting to set up your shit. Everything.
yeah, I would not doubt that. Maybe Kojima just entrusts. He trusts these younger guys. He has a new team and has some of the old team back. But it feels too much like it has in the past. I feel like that really is what's coming. And I mean, like I said, David Hayter, look that up because this is probably like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But David Hayter was talking about it on some podcast, and he was saying that, they couldn't use the audio from the first game and that they could use the audio from Twin Snakes, but that they just decided to go with a full-blown redo. And somebody close to him was telling him that the game was happening. Like, yeah, this is still gonna happen. And he was I think he was talking about something that happened beforehand, and how it got started. He was real nonchalant about it though. Like he was kind of real laid back about it. And I'm like, you know what? And it's not like it's like him on. It's not like an article. It's a video of him doing the shit.
Yeah, and then out of like nowhere we got you're right, I see it here. He said that until recently he didn't think it was happening until he got somebody reached out to him that was an industry insider, said that it might be happening. And then it's like then we got back in April. Sorry. Okay, so I've been into this whole conspiracy, and I really had too much time on my hands because do you know the part of the trailer where the tree is covering the PT?
Yeah.
And if you flip that image upside down, kill I'm serious. Kill, the way it's written, it looks like a 4 and there's 2 7s next to it. All right? And people are saying, and then there's other things that lead to like an April. So I was thinking, in April 27th. So something I just looked right here, April 14th. It looks like 477. If we're tinfoil hat time, that's on April 14th. The Metal Gear official said, "Tom, we talked about this. Please check your codec each morning for meeting updates and evacuation in case of PMC incursions. And we have visitors coming next week, so finish cleaning the vents and make sure the flags are all hung properly, but do not touch the C4 this time." And it's like Tom, and it shows like a picture of Metal Gear on April 14th. 4 and 7 plus 7 is 14. Metal Gear confirmed. You heard it here first.
What part of the trailer are you looking at?
When you look at it's.
Is it 49 seconds?
Yeah, where it shows kill the trespassers.
Kill the trespassers.
Look at the way the L's are written. If you flip that, it looks like 7s.
Oh.
And if you kind of and then that
7714.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. April 14th is when they released the little Metal Gear. So I'm just saying, I don't think it's Silent Hill. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying it right now. I don't think it's Silent Hills. I truly think. Who the fuck is this guy?
Who?
Sorry, I'm gonna have to edit this. But no, Hassan is actually talking. I didn't see this from 2 days ago. He actually put.
Bro, just like scared the shit. I'm like, what the?
He looks like fucking Solid Snake.
Yeah, it's when he said that he's not working with Kojima. He's not working on a Silent Hills game. He wanted to show himself and everything. And I'm just kind of like, I don't buy it.
Wait, what's this dude's name?
Who the hell cares about you to be hyping your game up this hard?
I didn't see this link. So there's video of the actual developer?
Yeah.
He exists, huh?
It's like a day old.
Huh.
Hold on, I'm watching it real quick. He looks like Solid Snake. I don't care what anybody says. like a fake ass
What?
Dutch solid snake. Anyway, I don't
This is
know.
some normal
In
ass dude.
the Netherlands.
Yeah, he's
Not. Yeah.
nah, but
I don't know, dude. Like God's Town. Like, what the fuck is this? What are we looking at?
and then it's covering PT. What if he's telling you it's not PT? That's why
Where
it's
is
covering.
it covering PT?
I was gonna say, what do you see?
Kill the trespassers. If you look at Kill the Trespassers, there's a tree in
Oh,
front of the
that,
P and
I
the
see,
T in Trespassers and the. And so people are like, oh, it's covering PT. I'm like, well, what if he's telling you it's not PT? And that's the. I'm mad.
What's fucked up is if it's a complete coincidence, and he's like, shit.
Right?
Anyways, good for him. A lot of publicity, man.
Could he have made this video in a more like awkward, like where is he? Is he in his bathroom?
That's what I'm saying. Like even the video looks off. It reminds me of the interview with the guy from Phantom Pain that he had all the tape around his head, and it was a real person saying, "Oh yeah, when we made the game, and he has all this shit." It just doesn't look right. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It's like
it's a real person, but there's so many other things that don't line up. Like, okay, cool, you're real, so you say because you're calling yourself this, but why is it that you said you worked on these games that don't exist? How did you work at these companies that we've never found? Like how?
Right, like answer some of the questions. You know what I mean? Like, and then you look like you're about to cry. Like I don't know, something's not right about that shit. Anyway.
It just looks random. It's just like those random shit.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Something about that shit just doesn't. Nothing about this feels real. Like this doesn't happen. You know what I mean? We don't have these discussions where, yeah, you talk about conspiracy theories and things like that, but for a game that just had that many inconsistencies or a game company, that shit never happens. Everybody has a track record. It's 2021. You can easily find and verify if somebody's done something or not. You cannot lie about this shit anymore.
Someone else would have come out. I've worked with this dude. He's but it's
what's his name?
Something suspicious. Come on.
I know. And then he doesn't want to tell. He doesn't tell Schreier. And then how Schreier even got an interview with him? Like not how, but like how did he, a nobody, gets his interview and then doesn't answer any questions? And it's like, come on.
You got Jeff Keighley out here, like holding your secrecy. Like first off, Keighley came out immediately to like squash or like kind of talk about the situation. So first off, you're big enough that you get him to just jump and put shit out for you, or
exactly.
And then he's there being quiet. Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm super excited to talk. Like, come on, like
this is a new team working on a new Metal Gear project. With any luck, maybe we're seeing two separate teams work on a Metal Gear game and a Silent Hills game. That's asking for way too much, but I wouldn't doubt it if they bought those IPs. If they bought one, they bought the other. That's for fucking sure.
And think about it, Sony's doing the movie too, so maybe they have access to that.
The movie. There's no way you listen to me, man. This is like it just doesn't make any sense for us to. This is not real. Like this shit doesn't just happen. Moby Dick Studios, we remember it was fucking fake. If you can't trace it back, The guy coming out talking and saying that he's not working on this, it's like, if that's the truth, then I don't trust anything anymore. And I think it's silly that people like this are getting such push. Like, are you paying for that shit? That's weird. That's like video games version of payola. If that turns out to be what the fuck's happening, like little creators out of nowhere are coming out with like trailers that don't even like show you anything, and they get to go on at a good slot and have someone like Jeff Keighley push them like this.
That's what I'm saying.
Weird to me. Like,
it's like, yeah.
If that ends up being what this is, people are paying for their shit to get promotion. It's payola. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Like, that's what we're looking at.
Like this is some viral marketing, some weird,
it might wind up hurting them in the end more than anything, because if that's what it is, they get all these people worked up, and then it's not anything related to either of these properties. The interest level is gonna evaporate, and people probably
you're doing more damage toward your game.
Yeah, I'll be tired. Like, fuck this game, whatever it is now, fuck it.
Yeah, because I mean, it's weird, and that's just weird to me.
Yeah. But then also, Kojima has not come out himself to deny any of these.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he never does either.
Exactly. Oh, he's too big. I'm like, I think he would say like, this isn't
I think, yeah.
Yeah, what's a quick tweet like I'm not working, whatever.
Well, check this out. What about the way he tweeted about those books? He said, "Thanks Harper Books, The Silent Wife by Kara Slaughter, the latest in the Will Trent series. The last window was kidnapping action, and then there's Joe Hill's story, a Full Throttle. He's much more interesting in short stories than in long ones. Looking forward to both of them." And it's just like people, all the talks about Silent and Hills, like Joe Hill's short story, in The Silent Wife by Karen Slaughter. It's like all this shit is like, what the fuck is he doing to us right now?
He wants everybody thinking of Silent Hill, so when fucking Big Boss gets dropped in front of us, we're like,
Yeah, I'm just happy knowing that it's something. And then I'm taking this all together with the fact that he delivers a Death Stranding PS5 demo that feels exactly like Metal Gear. Like it was a nod to that series on every level. Like the whole thing with the box is trying to show you that Sam is not familiar with the Metal Gear series. You as a viewer know, but he doesn't. He's just kind of like, what the fuck am I doing here? And why am I getting in? Like, what is this? You see the box, you see the fucking mice with the vents. That was a big one. Like I saw that and I said, nah, come on, man. Now you're just playing games with us.
Exactly. I don't know.
So remember, Miller tells you, follow the mice. Follow the mice. Just do that, and you know this is what they're telling you because McDonald Miller tells you, if you ever see mice, that could be a sign that there's an entrance or something nearby. Follow the mice, and you crawl under the vents, getting from one place to the other.
Exactly.
Such a huge nod.
I'll be happy.
Yeah, it's gonna I feel like whatever's coming out of that side of things, we're not gonna be disappointed. I feel like we stand Kojima on this side, but the guy puts out a good product,
Yeah, exactly.
It's not people cried more about a fucking game like Cyberpunk than they did about fucking Death Stranding. Oh, it's a walking simulator, but guess what? That walking simulator worked. Fuck out of here.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it was a walking simulator. Like, what the fuck are you on about? It was fucking dope.
I was able to play it and actually get somewhere without a fucking glitch. How about that?
No, it was definitely fire.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I saw that was really dope. The Outer Worlds 2, I wasn't excited about at all.
Yeah, after finishing the first one, I'm sorry, I didn't really care that much for Outer Worlds. It's on Game Pass, so I'll give it a chance, but I wouldn't have bought it. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know. Yeah. I know some of our listeners love Outer Worlds. I know.
Yeah,
but
they're wrong, but
it started off decent, and it just by the end of it, I just didn't care. He's posting a lot of Police Knots things too. Sorry, I don't mean to go back to this, but Police Knots was like heavily shown in Metal Gear. I'm just saying in the first Metal Gear Solid.
Get your shit together. Maybe he's making Zone of the Enders. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Ooh, a modern Zone of the Enders would be fucking fire.
I've been asking for one of those forever, but I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2 looks dope.
Yes, that I'm into it. Yep.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves, the expansion, the Pirates of the Caribbean expansion, looks pretty cool. I'm kind of into that. Yeah.
I think they have a lot of cool stuff coming.
Yeah, like Xbox showed up some did have a lot of stuff. Like it did make me excited for Game Pass. So Game Pass is looking like it will eventually be delicious and whatnot. But overall, there was some good things. There was a lot we could there's a lot we didn't cover. There's a lot that we could keep going on about. And I really think that like it could have been a better show. But you're right. Like there was some cool things to look forward to. That's what E3 is usually about. And even though a lot of the Xbox stuff is far away, fuck it. Like it's it's looking it's a bright future for Xbox, and that was the biggest takeaway for me. It was like, finally, I haven't been excited about Xbox since 360, since hearing about the Xbox One, and then once it dropped, it was like that's when they were shutting down studios left and right. So it's like they went from like 6 studios back to 23. So it's like, let's see those bangers. Let's play some video games. I'm ready for it. I'm here and I'm happy. I'm happy for Xbox. Like again, there's a small side of me that's more of a Sony fan, but that's because they did it to themselves. Because I had a PS3. I sold my original 20 gig PS3, after I beat Metal Gear, and I didn't care about Sony for a while. I was happy when Final Fantasy and everything was coming to Xbox. I was like, fuck Sony. They fucked up. And then they flipped.
Yeah.
They flipped it around. When the Xbox One dropped, it was like, what the fuck, Microsoft? Now I don't give a fuck. But now I'm happy to see that they're gonna have their own thing, and that owning an Xbox might actually be kind of worth it. Because I still gotta say the biggest value for me is besides Game Pass is starting a game on Game Pass on PC, and when you want to go jump in bed and just play something on your TV, you can bring similar quality over, and continue from your save file right on your TV. And I think that to me the is a big selling point. That's a huge selling point for me. And as I did that with the Medium. What was that?
And just also, I think Xbox, again, not to just rage on Sony too much, but Xbox is killing it with just the whole ecosystem and their plans for backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
They also talked a little bit about how pretty much, you'll be able to play these games forever. And people are already seeing that a little bit now. You can play old Xbox games on, with Game Pass. You're playing original Xbox games sometimes. And it's just something you never thought you'd see. But I mean, people were complaining about, hey, I want to own my game forever. I want to keep my stuff. Microsoft is letting we agree, we're here for you, and we want to help you with that. So if you buy a game with us, you get to keep it forever, because look at this, you're going to play a game that you were playing 15 years ago. We have it here for you.
Exactly.
So Sony's got to come up with an answer for that, because right now they're lacking.
Yes, it was a little bit weird with their whole backward compatible rollout, and and it sucks that it's like they didn't make it easy to upgrade some of that stuff, and it's all about money. It's like the fact that I think Microsoft is also doing it based on who wants to, they say, oh, it's nothing the developer has to do, but I have a feeling that it's a little bit more to it than that. But it's still cool that they're trying so hard or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think we went kind of long on this one. We're hitting a little bit over 2 hours, so we can go ahead and end it here. We'll definitely talk about a little bit more stuff. There's a lot more coming this summer. EA's coming out with stuff. Hopefully we get a Dead Space revival. That's what everybody's hoping for. We hear, they're reviving an old IP. Everybody wants Dead Space, and now's the perfect time to announce Dead Space, at least a remake or something. Give me a ground up remake with modern lighting on original Dead Space with some better shoot. Tell me that wouldn't be fire. I don't know. You don't think that would be fire?
That would be awesome.
What about you, Adocat? I don't see the excitement in your eyes.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about remakes of horror games. Just, I don't know how horrific can it be if I know what happens.
So you just want just a sequel?
Depending on the studio, if they can find the right studio, I really think that the guys who ran it, I feel bad because I'm forgetting his name now, the dude, the main director, because I really, just his vision is what sold me, and I feel like his vision is really what pushed that game to be what it was. If you watch some of the old videos, he had such a clear idea of what he wanted it to be. But again, if they find the right studio, someone just as passionate, it could be fire. I think they'd have to go with a new one, a new take on it. I think the universe is rich enough though that they could follow another engineer, another ship, another area.
That's true. Maybe a reimagining instead of a remake, do a reimagining. Like you said, so it's not so fresh. But I just think with small corridors like that, you can really do a lot with the graphics as well as make it a nice, dope fire survival horror.
I do agree.
Because they broke.
I love the first one. The first one to me is one of the best games ever. So
yep.
I'm not saying that it wasn't good, but I don't know, to remake it, I just don't know if it would hold the same weight.
I think it would. I think it would. But I think the only reason I'm saying, I guess I'm just being realistic with how EA is, and knowing them, they're gonna want to feel for if people are still interested. I mean, they should already know this. I mean, they have a million. I'm sure they have a million focus groups, that can just tell them, and all they gotta do is tweet a picture of it, and I'm sure it'll fucking explode. So they should know. But a lot of these suits are always fucking disconnected from what people want. So.
True.
But I would definitely love to see a revival of Dead Space, and like you said, with a dope director behind it. We'll see.
Dead Space and a new upgraded Lost Planet.
Well, that's Capcom, but hell yeah.
Yeah, with the new Monster Hunter engine. You were talking about it.
Oh, the Resident Evil engine. Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
You know what? That would be with that snow
Lost
and
Planet was fun, man. Lost Planet had some fun multiplayer too. People slept on it, but it was kind of fun. It was a good time.
Man, that would be dope. Oh well, we'll see. Next year, the rest of this year is gonna be all right. We'll get a couple of bangers, but 2022 is gonna be the year, just like 2015 was the year for PlayStation, with dropping bangers. You know, that's gonna be the year. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think we gotta end it here. Any last words? Anything real quick before we leave?
See you next time.
See you next time, guys. Love you.
We're not wearing sunscreen this week?
Listen, man.
Changing it up?
Summer. If you're not wearing sunscreen at this point, my words aren't going to change anything. It's up here.
Have a good night. Later.
Later, guys.